knocking those baby beers. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going live stream in the metaverse, guys, so that's why we got these things on. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Swag. Why you gotta be cool to me?
Mic test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Wait, what's that from? Oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah, so how is that going to work? If somebody wants to speak up, is it best that they use the mic? Can they shout?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
Bob, you should start with
You
the
could
mic.
just put it on the table, and then whoever wants to speak, they could share it. Yeah, you could just come over here. We'll go cheek to cheek. Only because we're MFers, though.
You have an MFer?
I used to. That was my original digital identity.
Wow.
Nah, screw that MFer shit. When did I switch from MFer? I can't even remember now. Oh, yeah, that's right. I said I'm selling everything, including this shit.
Did it come true?
What about there? That's better? Okay. Thanks, Bob. Is it?
Bob, what are you trying to say?
Bob, where are you looking, Bob? The dark web.
We're streaming to the dark web below the table.
Yeah. Don't go down there. You can buy weird things with your Bitcoin down there.
Oh my gosh.
Silk Road, right?
So how's everyone doing? I'm excited.
Don John.
Yeah.
Pushing P. Yo, watch out. He's pushing a lot of P.
we might have a music performance tonight. I should let you guys know.
Yeah, we got a little something in store. Nah, he rugged. He left his face. We might have some entertainment too if the magician is up for it. No, this is the right place. We gamble with NFTs and we all have problems.
That is so funny. Bob is a DJ and just waiting to be born.
I know, bro. We helped Bob mint his first NFT. It was a beautiful piece of art that he did on the beach. You guys should check it out.
Photography, right?
Yeah, it's photography. Yeah, I know you did. You're minting that stuff. Yeah, we're ready.
Yeah.
Is there a timer? I don't know. All right. Well, yeah. Welcome, guys, to Web3 Talk with Web3 CFL, but also hosted with me and my friend Shando.
Hey everybody, I'm Shando.
So we're going to be diving deep into everything Web3. Who is brand new to Web3, NFTs, the whole scene? All right, that's good. What's got you guys interested? What do you want to learn about Web3 the most? Or are you just kind of interested in?
Shout some things.
You want
How
to
can I
get
get
rich? That's a
rich?
great one. That's what brought me in first. What about you? Everything. Okay. Have you ever bought a crypto? An NFT? You'll probably leave with an NFT by the night. So. You said something, Bob? The pizza's on its way. So if you haven't eaten. So, all right. Well, either way, we hope to give you guys something to take away for Web3 tonight. We have different segments that we think are the most critical moving forward in the space that people can take advantage of in their regular lives, not just digitally, but mostly. So, yeah, we want to really just have an open discussion format. So we are going to have some slides. We're going to have some topics that we're going to touch on. But it's really just to inspire the conversation, and we want to hear from you guys, whether it's a question, whether it's like a project idea, or where you think it's heading, or just whatever it is, we want you guys to share and kind of make this open discussion. So
Anything that's on your mind,
yes.
go for it.
Welcome, Paul. It's okay. You're just in time. We were just starting. All right. So Paul is throwing NFT Orlando next week. Here in Orlando. It's going to be at the Marriott? Embassy Suites, sorry. Okay. We'll be raffling some of that stuff off at the end of the night.
Ooh.
Everybody got a raffle ticket? All right. Make sure you don't lose that. We'll be giving some cool NFTs away later on.
Everybody have their drinks ready to go? All right.
Cheers. If you don't have a baby beer, there's some in the fridge.
Over there. Let's do it.
Baby beer.
Let's go next slide.
You put me first?
Yeah, I did. I didn't even intentionally mean to.
Okay.
How's it going, man?
All right, guys. Real quick, I'll just share who I am for those who don't know. So you're like, who's this guy up here rambling about the digital renaissance? You know who? Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I'm Serpunk. I'm doing great. So a little bit about me. I've been in trading for several years now. My main goal is to become a full-time trader so that I can fund my addictions in Web3 and also just create cool projects with friends and do everything that I can that's fun in the Web3 space. I help run Web3 CFL with several of the team members, Swole, Kia at the door with Lyric, Arena who's not here. Give them a round of applause for helping us out. So we've been doing Web3 events in Orlando since last year. We've held several downtown with great turnouts, and we've just put on for artists and in the space in general. That's been a lot of fun. I host a show that I do here with PJ every week. It's on YouTube. I cover everything that happens in Web3. So if you guys are interested, it's called Web3 Weekly Alpha. And I've also started some small businesses in Orlando. I've started some small communities. Years ago, I started a community called Self-Development Group. I think that's where I met Sam. Yeah, where we were growing that into different states where we were kind of trying to do a Toastmasters thing. COVID ended up coming, and then I kind of pivoted. And I also went to UCF locally. Where are my Knights at? Hey. Go Knights. And I studied psychology there. So that's a little bit about me. I've been in Web3 since November 2021. I remember the reason I got into it is because I saw Steph Curry post a picture of his Bored Ape on Twitter, and then I just thought that was so odd. I was like, why is this guy posting pictures of random apes online? And then it really just took me a couple minutes to figure out what that was, to realize, holy shit, like this is gonna be an entire movement. So that was kind of my story, and then I was trading crypto originally before that, and then now I'm just, and here we are today. So with Web3 CFL, we did start a NFT project. It was a charity where we worked with a ton of people in Central Florida ton of artists. We were the Tampa Bay Rays, Miami Marlins, where they donated a ton of tickets and different things to us to raise awareness for Hurricane Ian, where we know people right in our backyard really dealt with some things, and we tried to start an NFT project and donate all the funds to them, so that was cool. But yeah, the things I'm most excited about in Web3 are memes, DAOs, which are digital communities that fund ideas with the community members, you know, whatever they have that's like-minded. The creator economy, so I think there's a new economy that's being born where creators can actually own every piece of work that they do, and then they can also share that with their fans for the first time in new digital ways. Web3 gaming, which is going to be super fun, right? When you can actually buy a skin, sell a skin, come in first, make money, and, you know, create this whole economy. And then just investing the whole finance of NFTs. And NFTs are sort of like startups for creators to me, where you can have a piece of that creator's future. So I'm excited for all that kind of thing. But I will give it to my boy Shando and let him introduce some of his.
What's up, everyone? Yeah, so my actual name is Shandi. I go by Shando online. It's a pretty shitty pseudonym. I only changed one letter. But a little bit about me is I studied computer science at the University of Florida, got a master's there, and from there moved from Florida to Seattle to work at Microsoft. And I always knew I wanted to leave Microsoft. I only wanted to do it to get it on the resume as a stepping stone. But I eventually left after only 2 years. I thought I'd be there for about 4 years because around year 2, I found out about this artist named Beeple who sold a piece of work for $69 million as an NFT. I basically just dropped everything I was doing and I said, why did that happen? I need to understand how this works. I might need some help adjusting the headset here whenever you get a chance. But yeah, after I left Microsoft, I started a couple of my own businesses. The first one was called PopRank, which is an NFT aesthetics ranking app. So there are a lot of NFT ranking apps in the scene, and many of them rank rarity, but none of them ranked aesthetics, which is, you know, which is the best looking JPEG out of the collection. And so we did that for about 6 to 8 months. My first business that was profitable, felt really, really good. Got to a point where we wanted to fundraise, and we actually raised some venture capital. But we got to a point where my co-founder and I were very candid with one another, and we're like, do we actually want to do this? And it turned out that we didn't, because our passion for the project was like a 7 out of 10. And if it's not a number that rounds up to 10, we decided it's not worth it. So I realized I wanted to explore all the other niches of Web3. And that's why I created Silica Studio. And Silica Studio is a Web3 dev shop. It's me and 2 other engineers. I've been doing that for the past 8 months or so, and that's been a phenomenal opportunity. I've gotten to grow my network and test a variety of different technologies. Worked with some notable artists, worked with some notable projects.
Drop some names.
One artist I worked with is Tijo. I don't know if that rings a bell, but he's definitely blown up in the Web3 scene. He's well known for this one piece of work called Blue. I think it sold for 69 ETH. Nice.
Always.
And so he's kind of regarded as like, you know, in this new class of artists that have blown up because of Web3. Grant Yoon is another one who's known for his neo-precisionist style. Worked on a project called Passes, which is basically Web3 OnlyFans. Not necessarily meant to be sexually explicit. It's just token-gated passes. And that was super fun. That's the bio, I think. I attended my first event with Web3 CFL in October of 2022, the event downtown, which was amazing because a lot of artists showed up, a lot of speakers showed up, and that's where I met Nick and met a lot of wonderful people, and it's been a great journey thus far.
Yeah.
So what am I excited about? What actually excites me in Web3? Because there's so many different niches, and we heard about, you know, how someone wants to learn about everything. There are so many different rabbit holes that you can just throw yourself down. What excites me probably the most out of everything is data ownership. I think that in a decade from now, we're going to think it's absolutely ridiculous that we use platforms like Instagram or Facebook, where you don't actually own your data. All you're doing is updating a database that they own and that they have full control over. So you don't own anything. That really, really excites me. So kind of extending from that are technologies like ENS or Ethereum name service, where you actually get to own your username that you can use with separate platforms and apps. Also really into trading, investing, collecting like Nick. Got into, like, my first NFT was a blockchain domain, and then I bought a sandbox plot, and then I bought an ape, and then I just kept going down.
Those are some really good purchases to start off.
The blockchain domain was a bad one, though, because it wasn't from ENS, it was from Unstoppable, which
You
kind of...
had the right idea, though.
I was like...
I bought a bunch of shit.
But you know what I did after that is there's a collection called the Wicked Craniums, and I was like all in on NFTs at that point. I was so excited with every mint that came out, and I put like 3-4 ETH into that, and it's now at like a 0.04 floor price. So we learned our lessons. Awesome, appreciate it. Hello, hello. Oh yeah. So I'll try to make this pretty quick because I want to jump into some more topics. But on-chain art, really excited about. This is only possible with smart contracts on blockchains like Ethereum. We'll get into that later. Ethical MEV. What is MEV? It stands for maximal extractable value. I don't know if you know, but there are some very sophisticated users of Ethereum that look at every single transaction that is issued to the blockchain and figure out how to order those transactions to benefit them the most. It's a very, I don't want to, it's a way to create passive income, but you have to be very advanced, I suppose, with Ethereum and understand the mechanics of it. And it can be pretty antagonistic. It can destroy projects. And I'm curious how we can use the mechanisms of MEV to rather benefit projects and users. I'm a software engineer by trade, and I mostly deal with user experience. I'm a front-end engineer, so that's definitely something I am interested in. And I think it's been said a lot of times that mass adoption will be brought about by really good UX. It has to just make sense. The way that it is now, it's not going to be enough. So I'm excited to see more advancements there. And last one is memes. More broadly, or more maybe academically, is memetics. Just how culture is formed, I think, is so fascinating. You know, there's this character called Pepe that everybody in the room has seen before, yet we don't really see or talk about him on a daily basis. He's not mainstream like Mickey Mouse, yet I would argue that he's more influential than Mickey Mouse.
Ooh, that's
Pepe.
good. All right. So I'm really glad Shando is joining me because he's a developer, as he said. He's got a technical background, so he can shed some light on that end. I'm not technical whatsoever. I'm more on the community end. I'm more on the trading end. And in the memes end. So I will try to bring that to the table. So starting off, one of my favorite quotes by our like philosophical leader in the Web3 space, you could say, a guy named Puck6529, who is completely anonymous, which is the most interesting part. But a quote that he said was, "You get this society your IT stack enables." And I love this meme here, right? Because it's like Zuckerberg or Web3, right? So I know Facebook has a bad rap for being centralized and maybe censoring or whatever it may be, right? But I think Web3 is a better future. I think it provides hope to a lot of people to where we can own the platforms and the creations and everything that we do from here on out, right? With Ethereum, as Shando was talking about. And a great example of this is what Punk6529 uses is, if you think of a taxi is decentralized because you can just be on the street of New York, just pull out a 20, and then a taxi pulls over and you can get in, and it's a decentralized exchange because nobody knows what's happening. The government, no platform understands that you're hopping in a taxi and paying them $20 because it's in cash. It's between you and the driver. But think about when in the future there is no cash, or maybe there's a CBDC, or it's just all Ubers, and it's all just done on centralized rails or some sort of centralized platform, where then it gives the opportunity for governments or platform to overstep and say, you no longer have the right to a taxi, right? Or whatever it may be. I'm just kind of using an analogy that hopefully makes sense. And I thought it was really thought-provoking when he said that you get the society that your IT stack enables, because sometimes we don't realize how much our society is based around the technology and what it allows us to do. So that's one of the most exciting things for me in Web3, and I'm sure Shando has some thoughts.
Yeah, I just wanted to add on, he mentioned CBDCs, which stands for Central Bank Digital Currencies. So the government has absolutely taken notice that we like virtual currencies. They don't want us to trade them as we are now without regulation. And their first kind of big step is these central bank digital currencies. So a stat recently came out that over 90% of countries are experimenting with CBDCs right now. Ukraine?
They're using a lot of Bitcoin too because of the
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. And El Salvador has Bitcoin as legal tender. All sorts of stuff is happening.
Yeah, and Russia, because they got sanctioned, are opening up like exchange for Bitcoin, which is insane, right?
Wow.
For like oil, things that were only allowed to be traded in dollars, right? Which one of the reasons we have a monopoly. Phil, your wife is from El Salvador. You've been there. Did you experience anything interesting with crypto-related things? Did you go to the volcano, the Bitcoin volcano?
The Bitcoin volcano is not what everybody thinks it is. Because you have to look at El Salvador for what it is.
Right.
Third world country.
Yeah.
Oh, that's way better.
And you have Bukele, who
I think his is
president.
backwards too.
He's very young, very moving with the people.
Thank you.
For the people, wants to
Yeah.
sees Bitcoin. He purchased a lot of Bitcoin with a lot of their money.
Yeah.
And just trying to put it down. But you still, I'm actually trying to pull up the picture right now because there are like these little crypto exchanges that they can go off and you get their money and everything, like ETFs, but they don't use it. So the people in El Salvador, when they got their free Bitcoin from the government, they cashed it in for real money.
Yeah.
So there's not like a real big movement, but like my father-in-law is really big with this whole thing. He thinks that El Salvador is going to be the next Dubai. He
Wow.
thinks that it is, and this is a man he's from America. Her father's from Connecticut. He's a businessman, and he calls me the other day, and he says, "Hey, I got 40 grand. I want to throw it in. What did I talk about with you? Ripple." He's like, "I want to throw it in Ripple. I got 40 grand. I'm gonna throw it in Ripple." And I was like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, teach me how to do this. Get your buddy Paulie to do it." And
Call
he
your
said,
crypto guy.
Yeah, like I don't know anything about crypto, so I call Paulie. But in El Salvador, it's like, people want that to see. It could be the next Dubai because it is a beautiful country.
Yeah.
And, if people start noticing that, what I'm listening to right now is it's like this seems like it's the Wild West.
Yeah. It
Mm.
is.
Dude,
Definitely.
that's what's so awesome is like I hate people owning my data.
Yeah.
I work in data all
Preach
day.
it, Phil. Oh, you work. That's right. Yeah.
And I'm trying to say is like it's mine, not yours.
Yeah.
So true.
But yeah, that's my experience with Bitcoin in
Yeah.
El
So
Salvador.
a quick story. I just came back from Colombia during the holidays, and I was at my cousin's house. She's a dentist in Colombia, and there's like a little finance app there. It's like the Colombian version of Cash App, and part of her weekly or biweekly paycheck goes straight into dollars, because the whole world's dealing with the devaluation of their currencies, but of course it's worse in other countries than here for the most part. So they want dollars. So she takes a portion of her paycheck, it goes immediately into that app, and it gets translated into dollars. But she doesn't even know it, but she's buying USDC, which is a stable coin, which to me was really powerful. It was an eye-opening conversation because I was like, wow, she's buying a digital dollar, and she doesn't even really know that. She just knows she's getting access to dollars from a different country. She doesn't really need an intermediary if she knew how to buy it correctly. In this case, she is using that friendly app. But that's been one of crypto's best products, right? The stable coin giving people in the other parts of the world access to the dollar in a seamless way. So, any other thoughts on that?
Yeah, I got some I like how Bitcoin in third world countries and helps out because my whole family's from Venezuela. So in Venezuela, with the hyperinflation and everything, some people I don't know if you ever been like I say a third world country. This is the reality of what happens. You get fucking robbed. Right, you get mugged, you get robbed. A lot of bad people wait outside of the banks, outside of the ATMs for your physical, cash, because you've got it physically on you. So I think Bitcoin can help a lot of people's paychecks and not walk 9 miles down the mountains to go cash out their check in certain world countries. I think that's the big thing that Bitcoin is going to help with certain type of people across the world. it's more safer way to carry your money.
Absolutely. A thought on that is, I don't really share this story, but it's kind of relevant. I've lived downtown Orlando for like over 5 years. I go to the PNC ATM all the time. And just the other night, I got held up at gunpoint at the ATM, and it was like 9 p.m. Huh? Next time I'll be like, hold on, let me call my buddy Phil. But it was such a shocker. I was at the ATM, my door was unlocked, and he came in the car and just pulled a gun out. And luckily nothing happened. He didn't even rob me. And, you know, the best outcome possible. But it was just so mind-boggling to me because that something like that has never happened to me. Well, I was like, I'm in crypto. He's like, oh, yeah, you got no money. No, he was just like, give me all your money. I was like, luckily, I had just put all the money into the machine. So I had no cash on me. What money? Exactly, the fake internet money. But he was like, so pull it out of the machine. And I was like, okay. And I went to go pull it out. And he's like, don't make a movement. I'm like, so what do you want from me? And then he's like, just give me $100. I'll spare your life. I was like, I literally don't have $1 on me. It's in the machine. And he's like, and
you help him set up a MetaMask.
I would have been like, we can go to my house. I got my ledger with me.
Mass adoption starts everywhere.
Yeah, like. But then he started getting nervous and stepping out of the car. He was like, just give me $100. I was like, I don't have cash on me, like for real. And then he was just like, you know what? Forget about it. God bless. Good night. Walked away into the shadows. And then I just drove off like mind blown. Like, what the hell just happened?
You go back to that ATM again?
I did, but not for like 2 weeks. I don't remember. Well, it's relevant to what he said because it's like, if you had crypto or a ledger, right? Like, you don't even need to go to a bank, right? You just need your USB looking thing and take it with you and transact, right, on your phone. So, I mean, of course, he could, I guess, ask me for my seed phrase and then rob me that way, but it's more complicated instead of just saying, give me your cash and running off, right? So, yeah, just wanted to share that. So, anyways, moving forward. So, this is a little flyer that we made because I think Web3 is much broader than people think. Especially if you're brand new to Web3, you're probably like, oh, these are just like funny NFT pictures on the internet. Or like, oh, people just buy Bitcoin and like store it. But really, it's disrupting many different areas. Music, art, DeFi, DAOs, blockchains, gaming. You can read the different ways that that's happening. We're going to jump into more detail throughout the presentation. But yeah, it really is so much broader than you think. And as you said, there's many different rabbit holes that you could go down. So whatever you're into, there's a place for you in Web3.
I can do the honors. Appreciate it. NFTs. I'll read this one out. So
Yeah.
NFTs are a digital tool that makes it easy to create social networks with people who share similar ideas. This quote came from an artificial intelligence model, if I'm not mistaken. ChatGPT said this because Nick wanted to understand something someone else said in a different way. This is what came out, and he thought it was pretty impactful.
Correct. Somebody explained NFTs in the most simple and effective way that I had heard, but it still had too many big words that I didn't want to share with others. I like to make it more simplistic. I threw it in ChatGPT and I said, dumb this down even more. And this is what came out, and I thought it was great because it was extremely powerful, but so simple that anybody can understand, right? And I think when people look at a Bored Ape, I'm sure you've seen a ton of NFTs up here, right? This is what's the name of this one?
Crypto Coven?
Yes, and this is a Meebit, right? So to many people, these look like just pictures, right? But what they really are is what this quote says. They're digital tools that create social networks with people who have similar ideas. And anybody can create these communities and anybody can join them and they can be built by the community. So it's a new powerful tool that allows that where you can prove the ownership. Well, I took a picture of this because these
It's
are
OpenSea.
these are the top projects in the world right now based off of volume and price. And NFTs are so early that you may not see these in a couple months there anymore, right? As NFTs are in their infancy, and we don't even know if the current model is what's going to work and continue to exist. But for now, that's what they are. And you have all types of different communities. You have Bored Ape. Anybody here own a Bored Ape? If you want to rob anyone, there's your guy. You got your ledger? No, I'm playing. All right. Wait, go back real quick. So I just want to go through the different communities. There's a fashion community, Clone X, which got bought out by Nike. So that attracts people who are into fashion, or into like 3D building. Moonbirds is now the art collector project, right? Yeah, or that. There's Metaverse Land. Pudgy Penguins is literally just a project about penguins that is just becoming like a. Their goal is to become a household name with the penguins.
From Bavard, too.
Huh?
One of the founders is from Bavard.
Are
Oh,
they?
really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, the original founder,
Original founder.
not Luca.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Tubby.
We share accountants, but he's much richer. He goes to my gym.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. It's
That's
my
hilarious.
My accountant's like, somebody's working on NFT, some penguin thing.
That's hilarious.
So Pudgy Penguins has blown up because of really well executed IP development over the past several months.
Yes.
People have a lot of faith in the team. Yes.
After a new founder, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, Luke and Nets.
Anybody own any of these or have any thoughts on? Oh, that's me. That's why I keep rubbing against. Anybody have any thoughts on these communities? Have you guys been a part of these communities? What do you? What are your experiences?
I don't personally own like a Bored Ape or Mutant Ape, but I'm friends with a lot of like, apes online, penguins. I like the Sappy Seals. I'm cool
Love
with
the Sappy
WAP.
Seals.
Okay.
All kinds of great guys you meet in just the Twitter spaces alone.
Yeah.
So just because you feel priced out doesn't mean you can't build with them.
So true. So true.
Push and P.
Want me to talk about checks?
Yes, please.
I think checks is very interesting because it personifies what a meme can be and how an NFT can surface that meme. So checks is created by Jack Butcher. Jack Butcher is a designer. He's worked with such people such as Naval Ravikant, who's a pretty famous angel investor. And he's known for a project called Visualize Value. This is before checks, where he takes a pretty complicated idea and he designs something super simple that just immediately clicks. It's a wonderful project, and if you guys are interested, I'll share it with you after. That's how I learned about him. Then he came out with this project called Checks, which looks kind of stupid, right? It's just like Twitter verified check marks in a grid. What's special is how he uses the checks and how the check is a fundamental unit of popularity, of social standing, and what can you make out of this symbol. I think if we were to think like 100 years from now, the verified check symbol is probably going to become so important and ubiquitous and well understood as like maybe like a heart. Everybody knows what a heart looks like and how to draw it. I feel like the check or the verified check symbol is going to be the same.
Yeah. So just to start off, correct me if I'm wrong, the origin came from Twitter having the verification, right? If you were a notable person on Twitter. Since Elon bought out Twitter, he made it, he kind of took away those checks and gave it to everybody that paid $8 a month. So Jack Butcher sold these checks as a meme to say, and he said above the checks, he said, these checks may be notable, or what's the?
Yeah.
May or may not be notable, because that's what it says on Twitter, because Elon's a funny guy, right? So it was kind of a joke, a meme, an idea that he just put out there and minted it as NFTs. But thousands of people bought it and resonated with it, and he realized, I can build a community around this. And he has, and he's done cool things since then. And that's just what can happen in the Web3 space. Like overnight, something can just take a life of its own, and a creator can turn that into something with the help of the community. And now what he does is people create derivatives of checks, and he updates the, I don't know a simple way to say metadata, but he illustrates the derivatives that people in his community in terms of the art that they create, and showcases them. So this gray check on over here was created by a community member, but now all the thousands of holders can see that as the main art, and he's utilizing that to put on artists in the space and showcase their work to thousands of people with a click of a button.
Yeah, super cool.
The NFT changes when you refresh it.
Mhm.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really cool.
So like now the current idea with checks is that it's going to be this infinitely running gallery of derivatives of the check. So the check is a meme in that it can be reproduced in different ways. And he's going to update the metadata with community members' work of this meme over time. So every week it's going to be a different check derivative. And what's sick about it is that the provenance of it is all on chain. So you can view this gallery on chain as a single NFT. And that just really hasn't been done before. So a really neat case of a dynamic NFT.
Anybody own checks or have any thoughts on checks? Paulie?
Nice.
Oh, you still holding?
Nice, man.
Okay.
I think it's a good long-term
What's
hold.
your thoughts on checks? Why do you hold them? Why do you?
I think like when it came out, like the velocity of it. 'Cause I've been in NFTs for a few years now, and like seeing that come out, especially in this market, was just like
Yeah.
pretty encouraging to see how quickly it got bought up. And
Yeah.
kind of had a parabolic run, like kind of didn't make sense.
I had to buy in two. I flipped it though, but I feel like it's a great hold.
I bought 2 and flipped 1.
That's great.
I've learned my lesson.
Mm-hmm.
Still holding 1. I got a couple of Pepins. Definitely living on the Pepins.
Paulie's a hell of an NFT trader. If you guys want to learn, hit him up. Bob, you had some thoughts?
I had a check once, but it bounced.
He's got jokes all night.
The last thing I'll say about this is that it minted for $8 and went up to a floor price of about $5,000 within a week or two. Probably 2 weeks.
Pretty wild. This was just a picture of a metaverse called On Cyber that's fairly popular. And it's also where people are now displaying their art, right? And as we move more towards a digital future, you will be showcasing practically everything in a digital way, right? So these are, and the cool thing is you can design these spaces as you'd like, right? So they could be the craziest thing you think of. This is a really cool one I came across. And you can display anything you want. And the cool thing is these are your NFTs. You just connect your wallet, and they automatically display in those areas where the art is located. So, anybody here not been in the metaverse before? Phil and Tori. Okay, it's really not that fun. I don't recommend it.
I experienced a gallery, and it's true that if they click on it, they can purchase the NFT right there.
Yeah.
Good point, Bob.
I actually own my own world in the metaverse.
Oh.
Yeah, it's called Hyperfi. I'm using that to make my own, because I have a comic book coming out. You buy an NFT, you get the comic book, you get just
Dope.
different things. I actually feel like owning a world is like the best thing you can do. It's literally your own world.
Yeah.
Like, well, I make short films, so when I start doing film festivals, I'm able to bring everybody from around different parts of the world just to be in that one place to show their own short films. So it's
Wow.
like pretty, it's a good investment in my book, to be honest.
That's really thought-provoking, the opportunities that come with that. Because we all hear about how, like, I don't know, if you follow like someone like Gary Vee, he's always like, you got to produce content every day, every week. You got to make content. It's like, I mean, owning your own world is a pretty huge form of content where like you make the rules, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, think about if Mr. Beast owned his own metaverse, and the metaverse, let's say the metaverse technology, you know, the goggles and stuff were ready. Like, that guy literally has like 100 million subs on on YouTube, right? Yeah. Something like that. Imagine if 100 million people entered Mr. Beast's world. How much power Mr. Beast would have. Let's say Mr. Beast dropped a token in his world. Think of the market cap of a token, of where somebody, right, like where there's 100 million people. It's just insane what a content creator could do, like you said, with the power of your own world. But once we get there, right, the tech's a little bit early on the metaverse side. It's just crazy. When you think about the Super Bowl is the most watched thing in America. 300 million people watch. Mr. Beast gets that on like a couple of videos. So he literally reaches more than Super Bowl. Like, it's just mind-boggling what creators can do. So I think that's going to be really interesting. I think the top Web3 metaverse games in the future are going to have the biggest GDPs in the world, like literally compete with countries when they drop their own tokens in these worlds, and you have people spending 6-8 hours a day in these games. So I think, the worlds have a ton of potential.
I feel like we might see Mr. Beast become the richest man in the world one day.
It's very possible.
If he plays his cards right, he could. But he also wants to give all his money away, apparently. So that'll be interesting to see.
True.
Large cap PFP index is nearing 2023 lows in USD terms. This is from a pretty popular account, NFT Statistics on Twitter, who often posts really insightful charts and statistics in the NFT world. Yeah, we're downtrending. That's all there is to it.
Yeah,
a lot of quote unquote blue chips. Their title blue chip is being questioned right now. There's a lot of holder churn right now, so it's pretty messy right now in the NFT space.
We're in a bear market, I think it's safe to say.
Yep.
Wait, real quick. It's either over and we were way too early, or it's just a bear market. We don't know. Does anybody have thoughts on the markets, on some of their PFPs that they're holding, how they feel about things?
Just let it bleed, man.
No?
Just take it.
Jay, how you feel?
I feel like we're closer to the bottom.
It's a lot of factors, man.
Yeah. Got the mic? Put him on the spot.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a lot of factors.
You're in Clone X, deep in the Clone X, right?
Yeah, well, I'm in a lot of ecosystems, but
Okay.
definitely Clone X.
Okay.
But overall, it's down, man. It's just not a good time. Macro's down. It's drawing things down.
Yeah.
Sentiment is down. So what happens is it's like I think NFTs is a monkey see monkey do game, you know. So right now everyone's down, everyone's sad. But the thing about this is like, it's unlike stocks, unlike anything else. The sentiment can change so fast here that in a week, what we're talking about could seem like distant history,
Yeah.
and everybody's happy and cheering. So that is what keeps me kind of grounded, knowing that just as bad as it is, that's how quickly it can turn around. And it will turn around when you zoom out a little bit, and when you look at Bitcoin as our leader. You know, realistically, there is nothing else leading us other than Bitcoin, and it will lead us into next year. So if you know cycles and you understand what you're buying into, pretty safe to say that Bitcoin and Ethereum are going to be fine next year.
Yeah, definitely. I think one of
pass the mic to Swole.
yeah, Bob.
Are we in a bear market or a cocaine bear market?
I wish there was cocaine so I didn't have to deal with this bear market.
You're saying we need an airdrop?
You remind me of a good point. So people probably saw these NFTs growing in price astronomically, and they don't realize one piece of that is that the big piece that's different from NFTs is from like buying a stock or a coin is that there's no attachment to a coin or a stock, right? I don't really have attachment to my Apple stock. But when I buy an ape or a sappy seal or a pudgy penguin, there's other people in this community that are trying to make this project grow as a whole together. And you get a real strong attachment. So it makes people not want to sell, right?
It has intrinsic value.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As a membership.
Yeah.
Small Colt has a 50 Explorer, just saying. Woo!
I got one.
You guys are rich.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome,
Yes.
and access to my OnlyFans.
That is very true. That is the best utility I've had in all of NFTs.
We got to get an OpenSea link up.
Yeah, I mean, there's two. Do you want V1 or V2?
Ooh, AI art.
You get into this.
Oh.
This is you.
You guys like this, first off? Does anyone not like this? That's cool.
Is that actually AI created that? Is that
Yeah.
Well, it's a real photograph.
I don't
Yeah.
feel like you should use AI for art. I feel like you should use it more as like building an infrastructure.
Mm.
Like the art. The moment you have AI making art, humans is like
Mm.
It's free though, because you're picking what images. As someone who
together, usually my photos and other stuff, like you do have to pick what goes in. And I agree that it's not nearly.
No, but that's fine.
same,
But
yeah.
sooner or later, it's not going to be you doing it anymore.
That's true.
It's gonna be
Oh
an
yeah,
AI
machine
doing
learning is
it.
gonna have it where it's literally.
Yeah,
And I honestly want like thousands of images. I don't want to touch a weight every time. So yeah, I'm
so
looking forward to
it's
that.
like,
Yeah.
Hurry up.
Once, like,
Oh,
as an artist myself,
is that me or
I
you?
film certain things.
Yeah.
Once you're taking out of that equation, and what is it?
I think that's me.
That's super. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's really interesting.
And right now we're at the infancy, so it's
It's
the
only
future is
get
gonna be
better.
crazy.
Any AI artists in the house? We got one.
You wanna
Bryce.
talk a little bit about what you do? Yeah. So you guys, if you haven't done, let me get a mic actually. So
Mike.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So anybody who Discord server, if you've been there, anybody can add a Midjourney bot to their Discord. It's just basically, it looks like another user, and you can then What is Midjourney for those that don't
Midjourney is
know?
a great question. So Midjourney is just like the name of the company, I guess. But yeah, when I created a server, because I'm gonna create everything to try it, it said, hey, do you want to add this bot? And I was like, yeah, AI, sure. So you add it, and then basically in Discord you type /imagine and then space, and then you can type out whatever you want to imagine, right? And then it will generate that image. And then my favorite thing is blending. So /blend, and then you could pick up to 4 images to blend together. And this stuff is nuts. Like I'll share some later if we have time, but like it's really cool. And you can basically, if you like a style, you can very easily apply that to something else you like, really. So, and I agree in that it almost feels too easy. Some of the stuff I make, I love this. I'm like, that took me no time at all. And someone spent hours and hours and hours making art. So I list all my stuff super cheap just because I'm not I'm a blockchain dev. I'm not an artist. But anyway, yeah. So Discord, Midjourney AI. I can invite you all to my Discord. You can just try it, right? It's free. You do have to pay eventually if you do a shit ton, so a lot like I do. But anyway,
Yeah.
Midjourney in Discord. Anybody can do it, and you should all do it. It's really cool.
You type /imagine space or space?
/imagine space. Usually it'll just like pop and you can hit space and it'll do it for you.
Yeah.
No, just space bar. Yeah. Just you're using Discord commands, so you can. And I haven't learned it all about Discord bots. I want to dive into that. I don't know
Yeah.
if you guys.
You
I
could
can
just
help
go
you
on the
with that.
Midjourney website, and it will show you how to do it. It'll take you to their Discord, and it'll show you how to do it.
It's really cool. So you hit /blend, you blend it. One image pops up. It's a 4-pack. You get to pick. Do I want to upscale one of these? Do I want variations of these? Do I want to do a beta upscale? There's a lot of really cool stuff. Like definitely check it out. I'll share some stuff.
Yeah.
Will it take some of our free time away?
It takes all my free time now. But otherwise, I'm just in blockchain, so it's good.
Yeah.
It's a good thing for me.
I just started getting into some AI art myself. I've never been an artist. I've never really been more on like the finance side. AI art was the first time where I felt creative, and it was so exciting, because even though I'm not creating the art, I have to think of it, and I have to imagine in my head what I want to see, and then I got to visualize the text that I'm going to write out to give me that outcome. And then I like to write titles for my art. So then I'm like thinking of cool titles, and it's like, it makes me creative. Recently, one of the biggest AI artists called Claire Silver recently sold a piece of AI art which wasn't edited at all. So literally she put in a prompt, something came out, and she sold it for tens of thousands of dollars. And it's been very controversial, because it's like, goes back to like, what is art, right? How do we value it? So it's a very interesting time, but I think it's just going to get crazier and crazier.
Yeah, and to your point, it sounded like what you were saying is AI art is replacing human creativity.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. So basically, like as an artist, or like other people here that are artists, because I know John makes music, it'll literally take all that like all away. Like an AI art is literally gonna make, well, I no longer need John, or I no longer need this studio because I'm a one-man army now. I got AIs to do it for me. It's just, it'll literally take everything away. That's why I feel like AI should be used to build infrastructures and not build art itself. Leave the arts to us, so that way we can still profit.
Yeah, it's a contentious issue of what should be the purpose of AI. Should it be used for art? And to Nick's point, what is art? The definition of art that I've kind of stuck with over the past decade, I'd say, is art is something that exists for the sake of itself. So does it matter how it's created? Well, it kind of just categorizes itself, right? So if a human creates it versus a machine, at the end of the day, it's something that still exists for itself. It's just that you're replacing, let's say, a brush with a keyboard and the canvas with a prompt or a text box. I think what's interesting too is that this is a completely new class of art that really couldn't, I don't want to say couldn't, but I'll say couldn't be created by humans alone, right? It's so whimsical and surreal. It's a really interesting category of art. This is from an artist called Rune Runisto.
I have a question for you. You said you created something, so it makes you feel creative.
Yeah.
My question is, that you had, that you imagined, what's exactly what you saw once you type in the title that you were looking
That's
for?
a great question. It's getting so good that it's almost there. Like, there's some ideas that I have where Midjourney is just not advanced enough to give me exactly what I want. So then I'll pivot to something else, and then I'm like, okay, this works.
So you're getting close to what you want, but not exactly how you want it.
Yes, but they just released a new update today called Midjourney version 5. So the AI,
Because these things are getting more.
they learn fast.
intelligence, and then
Yeah.
They will make it better and better and better.
Yeah.
But I would say, because I'm a creative too, I'm a creative person too. I create clothing, I create art, I create a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm not afraid of the AIs. I think we should learn how to deal with those things, because if somebody that is not a creator, right, be able to make some art, right, and then you feel like a creator. Imagine if a creator can utilize those tools in our advantage.
Right.
So, I don't know. Instead of being against what's happening, we gotta be smart and learn it. Because I believe if you was able to get something close to what you want, if a creator person grabs that and then tweak it, and you know what I'm saying, it will.
Yeah, they do mind-blowing things. Yeah.
Exactly. So that was my whole thing.
Phil, no, that's a great point, man.
So like, not like going against it, but like going with it.
Yes.
Like as you say, going with the ways. You can't be stuck in your old ways. And even in business, you have to evolve. I think that it gives the individual who can't be an artist in life the opportunity to become their own artist and say, like someone said, I wish I can draw like, Goku and everything growing up. I couldn't draw anything like that. What, are you kidding me? But imagine if I can just type it in and just have, create my own scene of where, there's Goku fighting somebody that there's no one in the DBZ world or something. I want to be my own artist.
To me, it's more of, are you creating your own scene, or are you taking a scene that's already created by somebody else and then mixing it into something? Like, he makes clothes, but then let's say somebody else wants to make clothes. Are you okay with somebody stealing your style of idea to make their own clothing line, or is that going to be okay with you? Like, to me, I see what you're saying, and like I said, we should use AI to build infrastructures for art.
In my case, right, I can only speak about me, right?
Hold on.
If somebody else is using my creations, right, and I'm getting paid, they can use it. You know what I'm saying? They use it all you want.
But he makes a good point, because the way.
No, you definitely do. But if that's what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? By your point, if we put our things in place and we getting benefit of it, and everybody else is having a fun with it, then why not?
The thing
You know
is,
what I'm
with the current AI infrastructure, let's say the AI art generator spits out something, you can't know who is the source material that helped you create that art, because it's all mixed together. So inherently, AI art is remix art,
It's like a Neuralink for artists that draw it themselves. I can see it really good as like a reference.
Yeah, and this brings up the ethics of AI as well.
But I think that, okay, first of all, you're not going to get rid of AI. It's here to stay, So that's on the table. Second of all, I see his point in the back. If a human's creating something and it's real artistic and detailed and deep, it should have more value, essentially, than someone just typing in. But I think that the market always fixes itself and works itself out. So meaning forward thinking, in the future, somebody who we know and we can verify creates something by art, by default, I believe will have that value versus someone who just came in and typed some stuff. You know what I mean? I think the market will price that in. We're probably not seeing it yet because it's scary and it's new and it's disruptive. But I'm pretty sure something that somebody can verify that created and hand painted and it's a masterpiece is going to still hold that value over somebody who just casually made something on Midjourney. That's just my thought.
Yeah. Yeah, when the whole world is creating art through prompts, you're not going to value those prompts the same.
And the human art.
Yeah.
You're going to be like, holy shit, we can all do this, but he can actually do it.
Exactly.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, if you go and see in, you know, the Mona Lisa, or you see the Last Supper, or you see the Sistine Chapel, that's painted by human. That's intrinsic, historic.
Yeah.
You know, if you have the experience, like I'm sure if who's ever been to the Met, the Museum of MoMA and everything, you know, if I saw someone generate something like an NFT or AI piece of art, but then I saw, you know, walk into MoMA and they were each $10,000, I'm gonna put the $10,000 on the one that the person did it, because that's just common sense to me. And I hopefully that going forward with art and everything like that. But I'm saying that AI could be a tool help for other people that don't have
like
the
people
capabilities.
like me who are
I'm like I can't draw.
Yeah.
The artist in the code, the real artist is whoever made the generative code to the AI.
Yeah, that too.
That's another angle of art.
Yeah.
Anybody want the mic?
I look at it in terms too. It's like, I appreciate what Kanye does as far as music, but he's not producing every record with his hands. Like he's producing the record by getting the right people in the room, and like he can do it all, but he knows it's gonna be a better product if he's not necessarily doing everything. You know what I mean? So.
Sometimes a real executive is the one that gets all the producers together.
Besides DJ Khaled.
Yeah, that's good.
You coming next?
So these are all.
Bob, you got something to say?
I think AI art right now is 24 miles an hour because back before the railroad and all that and horse and buggy, people literally didn't think that a human could survive going faster than 25 miles an hour. That's the limit. And yeah, back then and now look what we do. You know, we're in outer space going a bazillion miles an hour, and so I think AI, what we're at is just when people are going, oh, you know what I mean. But what's coming is going to look back on really 24 miles an hour. Is that dial up? Is that what
Some people are still going 24 miles an hour.
John?
So do you guys know anything in the AI scene where we can do like patent pending for like arts or anything like, okay, this is my art style and you copied this and you made certain amount of money. Like he said, you made certain amount of money. I should get a certain amount of money.
I think that's a huge market opportunity.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest problem with AI, in my opinion.
That hasn't even been done.
Okay.
You ain't gotta be an artist.
Mike.
That way the artist
Over
gets
there.
paid.
Real
Write
quick.
my percentage on that one. You heard me? My percentage. Put it in there too.
The blockchain can do that as far as like ownership and
Right.
showing who actually did it. I feel like that's the biggest thing. And royalties, like music royalties, are all screwed up.
Yeah.
There's no way the artists get screwed. I mean, the artists have been getting screwed forever. So this is the first time where it like levels the playing field if we can leverage it properly and the right people have control of it. You know what I mean? So
True.
I think that's huge in that respect for sure.
We got someone in the back that has something to say?
Somewhere I read, I was trying to see, I don't know which jurisdiction passed this thing, but they said AI art can't be copyrighted. So which goes to your point. I don't think, I'm not sure how we will if we have to patent the crux of it or the style of it, because if they generalize all the AI art cannot be copyrighted, then they might also challenge that part as well. That's. I mean, I was trying to see which jurisdiction passed that. Let me search for it. But otherwise, I've read another quote somewhere. AI will not put you out of job, but people who don't know how to learn, use AI, will be out of job, right?
Facts.
So we have to learn how to swim along the tide. That's how it's going to be.
Because at the end of the day, it is another tool that you have to learn how to use.
Yeah. Wait, so I still have to work, VJ? I was looking forward to taking off.
Yeah. Have you guys ever been to a Checkers recently?
Not
Like in the
recently.
drive-through? So there's not a person taking your order anymore, right? It's an AI.
Checkers?
Yeah, you go,
Really?
go to Checkers after this. Pull in the drive-through.
They got
and
good
you're,
fries.
You're not gonna have a person taking your order. In fact, if they fuck up your order and you go to the window where the person's checking you out, they're like, I don't know what to do. I can't cancel it or something. The AI did it, not me. So yeah, it's retarded. So my question is this: is like about the AI. Have you come across an application created by an AI yet, and have used it? Now, are you more comfortable with the AI creating the app or a human making the app? Like if it's like the same kind of app.
Yeah.
What would make you lean one way or the other?
VJ.
Go ahead, please go ahead.
Well, that's what I say. That's why I'm saying we should use AI more for infrastructure instead of creating actual art. If it's used for more for infrastructure, then it's more of we can get paid easily. We can get it's a smoother process, like FedNow. Fuck FedNow, but like FedNow. But but basically.
Yeah, it drops next month in America. Yeah. For banks.
Yeah, so I'll give you a general answer and a specific answer as well. So when it comes to ChatGPT kind of technology, how many of you on the launch of day before yesterday GPT-4? Have you seen?
I have not used.
I'm
4
about to
yet.
subscribe. $20 a month to get access to ChatGPT.
There was a launch of GPT-4 model, which is the latest model.
Yeah.
OpenAI launched it. In that, the guy who draw
Right.
a piece of paper, like this is what my web, right? And then he fed that picture, and then he wrote the entire HTML, and then he fed the HTML, and it was working the way he was designing a writing paper, right? And think of a startup founder who wants to bootstrap his money in building an app. What would he prefer? Will he spend like 20 grand to build an application with a development team, or use AI to build? AI, right? So there's the question should be like how, again, going back to my previous conversation, we need to learn how to use this in the betterment of our getting our innovations out to the market, right? And if use AI to build the application, why not? If it's going to reduce the cost, reduce the effort, reduce the timeline, reduce the time to market, why not? That would be my answer.
My sense is like, okay, let's say all your life you grew up, you're gonna be a coder. You went to coding school. You're pushing P all your life to get to where you're at, and then this app comes out, and now a 7-year-old can make, you know what I'm saying, can make and code something on the blockchain, and it just baffles me.
I do think there's a difference there, though.
Okay.
Only because the AI will take you so far, because at the end of the day, it's like getting the AI to make a rocket for you, and you're not a rocket scientist. So
Yeah,
you're like, if you need to change the rocket, you don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And so there's going to be a difference between a programmer and a computer scientist.
So have you guys ever heard of Alethea AI?
I've heard of it. I don't know what it
Alethea.
is.
Okay, so
Yeah.
pretty much it's an artificial intelligent ecosystem where they actually have their own metaverse, and it's really cool. What they do is they take your NFT and they turn it into INFT, an intelligent NFT. It changes the property of where, let's say I have a PFP. Let's say you got a Bored Ape, you got a cool cat, whatever the hell it is. You're now able to migrate this pod into almost giving it an artificial soul of its own, where you can debate with it, you can rap battle it, and there's even certain tiers where the NFT can create art itself using its AI protocol and even generate its own crypto. So if you're into AI and NFTs,
Whoa, bro.
this is a rabbit hole.
I want to go back to Web 2. This is
Okay, 'cause that's a rabbit hole. I want to know if anyone heard of it. It's called Alethea AI.
Never heard of that one.
Is that?
Yeah, go
is
check
that,
it out.
is
Check it out.
Is it ASM?
It's ALETHEA.ai.
I think that's the company behind it. Do they have an OpenSea collection?
Yeah, they have an OpenSea collection. They even have their own crypto.
ASM?
They have their own crypto now, artificial
I think
liquidity
it's
token.
ASM.
Oh, okay. I've heard of
I'm
ASM.
not sure, though.
Yeah.
Some crazy stuff.
But yeah.
It is crazy.
Alethea AI. It's something I've been thinking about getting for like a year. Probably a year or two.
Cool project.
Yeah, some cool
Sure.
stuff. Yeah, they like you go on their website and you can even like choose the demo avatar and it will talk to you. Like you can talk to it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Any
Yeah, that's
other AI thoughts?
Anything else, or we move on? I know everybody loves AI.
This is an awesome discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say one last thing. I think what AI does is that, you know, the phrase that we've heard our whole lives, which is an idea is a dime a dozen. Well, I think that is no longer gonna have as much meaning because now we all have the tools. So the idea has a lot more weight because now you can make that idea a reality, and your lack of skill is no longer as much of a barrier as it was before. So if you're an extremely creative person, but you don't have the technicality to pull off whatever it is the idea is, you may be able to do that now and create something really cool. And so now these people with good ideas can really stand out in the marketplace because they have that tool to help them do it.
Have you seen an AI host in a Twitter space yet?
No.
I'm just saying, like, can you imagine a day where you're the host or the community manager live on a Twitter space, whatever NFT collection it is, it's an AI, but it sounds just as real as just like another DJ you're talking to.
Yeah.
Do you think it could get to that point where you don't even know?
I think it's gonna get to the point where my girlfriend is like a.
Twitter space, but I know AI could create a Discord channel, the entire server, and then manage the channel, the entire thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say last thought on AI if I can. Yeah, so like AI is gonna be responsible for like abundance, right?
Yeah.
And every revolution kind of starts with art, right? So like 10,000 years ago, we minted the first coins, we placed art on them, right? And then, right, the human evolution process started again. We made pottery, and then we started building cities.
Yeah.
And so right now, we're gonna be able to create abundance with art, right, and code. And this code is gonna allow us to solve real problems that are a lot bigger than what's happening, right, or like future problems, and we solve them a lot faster. So it leaves the human race to solve problems that are even bigger, like space travel or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
When do you think that this we'll see AGI? Do you think we'll see it in our lifetime now of how fast it's accelerating? I don't want to bet on ASI being in our lifetime because the artificial superintelligence, that's just too much for us to comprehend, I think, right now. Like if an AI could understand fucked up humor, like, oh, my grandma just fell off a roof, like to someone else in here, that'd be like, haha, that's so funny. But an AI wouldn't be able to understand that's funny as far as humor-wise. Do you think, like, what tier of AI are we looking at in these current?
For context, you mentioned AGI, that's artificial general intelligence, and the definition of that is an AI that can do everything that a human can do.
I have no clue, man. I'm just trying to learn Mid-Journey.
I think we're hella early.
But maybe.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll ever see that in our lifetime.
Because all we've done thus far is pattern recognition.
Yeah.
But
So I worked in AI, right? And one of the things that I had to do last year before ChatGPT was released was like search for every single. I had to search for every single AI that like was in existence for a little bit, and the thing that I found the coolest, right, was for the project that I was doing. They took down every AI that was a video game about war. So I thought that was the coolest thing because it kept like upgrading itself in that aspect. So.
Can you explain that some more?
Yeah. Yeah. So like every single game, like even if you were like an indie developer and you were using AI in your game, got like bought out and like you haven't seen them online at all. So they're definitely still alive, but I mean they're somewhere, right? Just coding that up. So like ChatGPT that we have now is like so minimal.
Yeah.
You know, like we're just allowed to get trained on it, right?
Right.
That's it.
Dope.
I just had a thought. This is a super interesting conversation, I think, just in general. So I'm like absorbing everything everybody's saying. But I don't think AI is going to be able to get to the point where it can produce an original thought. I think that's where, like, your definition of art, can you say what you said again?
Something that exists for the sake of itself.
I don't know if I agree with that. I think art is more, from like what you're saying, I think it's more of a creative expression. So I would say that there's an intuition, there's an imagination, there's a soul, we could say, that is deeper than what artificial intelligence can do. It's not able to produce a question, it's able to answer what we tell it. So I think to the point of, does it get to general intelligence? I don't know if that's possible, because I don't know if it's not alive. So like, no, the same way our car is not alive, the car is not producing a thought. And to the art point, I think that the art of today, I think we're going to see more architecture. I think we're going to see more cathedrals, because I think that's where the real artist will be able to produce something that not everybody can. And so I think that's where art has a profound aspect to it that is deeper than what the artificial intelligence can do. But that's my 2 cents.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody's got a different outlook on art, which that's why it's art.
I was just going to piggyback on something that was so far back now.
Yeah, you had your hand raised several times.
Let's do last questions so that we can move on to some other topics. But,
I was just going to, when you were talking about how the new tools, people that aren't all that good can advance, I'm into doing this photography thing, and it's all done on my phone. And if I had to get the old clunky thing out and try to figure, go through the classes of how to use the old thing, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now. So,
exactly.
And be able to just to bam out to the world, when I'm done editing it with color or whatever, I feel like I'm leaping ahead of all those guys that spend all the time. I mean, I want to learn that camera stuff eventually.
Yeah.
Until the new phone comes out. So that's
wonderful.
So I feel like AI is gonna be more for individuality. It's not gonna be for, so how we all just got together and we wanted to talk about things, or if me and John wanted to make a song together or a music video, it's gonna be more for individuality, because look how many humans are being born a day, and now look what AI is going into.
Yeah. I think we'll always stay creative, for sure, somewhere in that. Any last ones before we move on? Okay.
Alrighty. So what we're looking at here in the slide is our collections from a project called Braindrops. Braindrops is an AI art project, and they will drop specific collections, and they have a cadence about like one every month. The last one that dropped is Materia Mania, but the one that really got people's attention is in the top right, Life in West America by, I'm going to butcher his name, by Rupe Renisto. And this is what we were looking at over here. And what he did is kind of novel in that not many people have seen AI art that uses photography as the reference material. And he did a theme where it's like early 1900s West America, like a very specific theme and era, and it generated some really cool pieces. And so Braindrops, which is the umbrella of all these specific projects here, has garnered a lot of attention recently. And has been really going parabolic. So he mentioned an artist. Do you have a slide on Claire Silver or not?
I don't think so. I can pull her up. So there is an artist named Claire Silver who is just widely known as the #1 AI artist. She has now, I guess, a feature or a partnership with the Louvre in Paris, and it's going to show off her art. And her growth has just been astronomical in a really short period of time. Mm-hmm. And so her pieces are selling for tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars now. Yeah, this is her.
Yeah, so 16 ETH here. If we click on one of them, by the way, we can see the USD value if we're interested.
What is that? I don't know, but someone's paying 27 grand for it, so. She's got some pretty crazy pieces. How does she make hers? Do you know? Does she use photography? No, right?
So this is what I think is most interesting. I think the AI artists that are really going to make history are the ones that create their own models. I don't think you're going to find someone who just has like a really dope Midjourney output.
Yeah.
Not to discredit what you're doing, because what you're doing is very cool. It's a kind of remix art. But the people that really put in a lot of blood, sweat, and tears and making their own model that's so unique from everyone else's, it's kind of like an artist creating their own canvas and paintbrushes and palettes and their color scheme and all that jazz. So
how do you feel about Beeple when he uses,
Beeple's why I quit my job.
he uses assets that are pre-made and he doesn't mold everything, you know what I mean? That's kind of like,
yeah. We got a hand in the back, Bobby.
I just heard that they're celebrating 2 years that sold, like.
Oh, yeah. He just threw an event at his factory. Looked crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know much about his work process. So you're saying he uses 3D assets that are from other people. Does he credit them?
Tell them about pizza.
They're not something that you have to credit.
You gotta buy them.
Yeah, they're like plugins or something.
Yeah.
Same thing in the studio.
I can imagine like a Unity 3D shop for this kind of thing. Same idea. I know a lot of like games for demos. They'll just rip off, you know, assets from a pack, you know, and use that. Make it. You can make an FPS in a week by just ripping off what people have open sourced or published. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people just put together some assets and tweak it, and there you go, you got your art.
Everything is a remix, man.
Yeah,
Like,
everything's innovation.
there's a great documentary called Remix that shows you like how everything that we think is original is really just a remix. I highly encourage it. It's for you to watch it, but
All my jokes are remixed.
really? Hey, real quick, if you guys got pizza, if you bought a ticket, you're free to grab some. If you're hungry now, or you can get some after. However you set it up with Kia. I don't know. What'd they tell you at the door? All right.
I feel like you're good.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
The metaverse.
The metaverse. So everybody. Yeah. Well, don't scan it. That's not for you. So, Tori was the only one not in the metaverse, right? Everybody else has been in the. No, there was one more person. Phil. Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Like you said, they're not that fun. You know?
They're not that
They're
fun.
not ready for like mass adoption. Woo! Let's go in here.
Yeah.
Push me. Like we're gonna be on Call of Duty and Halo still for a while.
Yeah. When's the last time you were in Decentraland?
Dude, I went to like it was like some like summer concert, virtual concert. There was like Alice in Wonderland playing or something. Like I went in there just because there was an event. I
Yeah.
didn't go in there because it was just like, oh, I'm going home from work. I'm going to Decentraland.
Right.
That's a question that I have.
Which is why I checked it out.
Yeah.
Do you feel like the metaverse is only it's not that popular because it's not like in century? Like me, the only reason why I go into the metaverse or I have my Hyperfy account, like I have my own world, is because I can go in there virtual reality mode, and then I can play with it on my phone if I want to. So do you think if it's gonna be more for the kids, like our kids, or is it? Do you feel like it's like what do you think is going on? Why do you think it's not? Yeah,
It's
it's
just-
boring,
yeah.
but like it's more like what do you think it's like being set up for, basically?
Need the UX guy to tell you that.
My thought is if we want to break down it's boring and explain that, I think it's boring because there's not enough quality user-generated content and a network effect hasn't been achieved yet.
It's also because there's not enough people to like really
Exactly.
the first one that's gonna get it done is probably the other side. As far
All that matters is the people that flock to it, right? Twitter wasn't popular from the get-go. In fact, it had a different name when it first launched. It was the people that decided, hey, we like this app, and so many people had the same thought that it created this exponential effect. There's something called Metcalfe's law about networks, where the value of a network is exponential to the number of people in the network. So you just need enough people in the metaverse and then if also you need to make sure the metaverse enables creativity. It has to be like really flexible and robust in its creative tools. If you have that and you have enough people, then I think it's only a matter of time. But we really haven't seen that yet. What do you think about the other side?
Well, has anybody here not heard of Bored Apes? Everybody's heard of Bored Apes? Okay. So the parent company of Bored Apes is called Yuga, and they are creating a metaverse, which seems to be the best shot at the metaverse thus far. This is what it's called, Other Side. This is what it looks like. Well, that's the Bored Apes.
Oh, by the way, in like a week or so, they're having a playtest, the second trip.
25th. Will you be there? Probably not. Why not? Yeah, but if you can bring a friend, so you should take me. Yeah, people. Oh wait, I'm sorry. You got to own the land.
I got you.
You can take me?
Yeah.
All right, we'll go. Yeah, that's what I was asking. You can bring a friend to this next trip. We'll do a raffle tonight. Whoever wins goes to Other Side with Soul. This is what Other Side looks like. Were you at this wall? Yeah. Okay. So which one were you? So Swole, maybe you can share, because I wasn't actually there. Can you share like what it felt like, what it was like, or anybody that was at Other Side? Was anyone else there? Sorry,
I was there with you, man. But
You were there?
I'm on the bottom right.
Yeah, I mean, it was cool. I just kind of hope they turn it into more of like a gamified kind of experience than just like a sandbox or Decentraland.
Yeah.
Because like you said, it's boring.
Yeah.
Like even spatial is boring. Even
But
though
you
it's
guys
like
were
high
all.
poly.
Oh, what happened?
What? Oh, there you go.
Oh, that was trippy. You guys were all fighting the monster together.
Yeah, you didn't actually press any buttons for it, I don't think.
Oh, you didn't?
You just you're just there.
It was kind of a movie you were a part of.
It's
You
like
just
watching
kinda
a
watched it.
performance.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
And it was cool. I think the thing they have going for them, it's like a high poly metaverse, which there's not really an operating one that people go to.
With that many people in it.
The
at
only
same
one I
time,
know is
right?
like Spatial, but I don't know if Spatial is like an actual metaverse because you have to like set up rooms and stuff, and it looks really good and it operates with Ready Player Me.
Yeah.
But like as far as like high poly stuff,
There's one called Helix, which is probably more high poly than this, but it really does look like GTA.
Yeah.
Web3.
Yeah.
Ified.
So what do you think is the advantage of the improbable platform where other side is?
I think that this is Fortnite,
This
but
is a
with
Fortnite.
Web3 features.
Yeah.
And it's
and that's where they'll be successful if
and
it's a gamified.
it's really strong thesis.
Which they've kind of like mentioned, but haven't really said like, yo, this is an MMORPG, which is really what I want.
That's what they said. They said it is an MMORPG.
did they?
Yeah, they said
exactly.
I don't actually pay attention to any of their announcements, to be honest.
Whoever cracks that Web3 World of Warcraft, where everyone's playing, I mean,
They're the closest thing to it right now.
I mean, it
I
looks like
agree.
it right there. You ever pull up to spots in World of Warcraft? It used to be like that. Now there's
Right.
like 5 people playing.
So you could put a VR headset and be in there with all those people, right?
Right.
All right, I'm gonna pass this over, but
Okay.
the Swole cult made me say that this is the way.
This is the way.
And
Protein.
Protein.
Can you also just play it without the VR headset?
Yeah, yeah.
Just like MMORPG, you know, just
but they want to make it interactive.
I know, but you still need like that Web 2, like.
Yeah, it's on the browser for now.
You know, like if you don't want to do VR, you should have a choice.
Yes,
we're
Bob.
all here for you, Bob.
You all could get a mic and just say that. But I heard that the wallets are a little too confusing for your average person, and if they were super easy to get into, then the metaverse would get much bigger, right?
Bob was at my house when I helped him set up his MetaMask, and I'm assuming you're referring to that exact
No,
time.
it's something I heard in the news recently. Just the saying that the whole wallet thing,
Yeah.
if the average person
But we
could-
also had a peace out, Swole.
Was this something I said? Okay. Right. I'm making you disappear. What do you want?
Yeah. But we have smart accounts on wallets now, Shando, correct?
Yeah, we have
So
smart accounts.
Is that our moment for the
Yeah.
crypto wallets? What do you think?
Faux show.
Okay.
So I had a question. Do you think that like with the other side launch, when it becomes public, only if you have a Yuga asset you're gonna be able to access it?
No.
And, like, do you think you could like it be a public thing where you could just be an NPC, like a shitty character at least?
Yeah, for sure.
Cause I'm down with being a peasant. I want to play. You know.
I'll be a surf on the other side.
Yeah.
I have no
Yeah,
problem.
I'll be a sex slave. I don't care. Like,
but
let's-
I think you own a VIP NFT, so part
Yeah.
of the utility of that is getting to beta test really cool products, right?
Yeah.
And then potentially get some of the extra rewards that may be offered in this world.
Do you think you're gonna be able to like just bring your own NFT avatar and
I
just
think so.
launch it in
Yeah.
there? I think that would
Yeah.
be cool because with MG Land, it's something I've been working on with lately with my community with Punks Voxel, where we just got land in MG Land, and now we got our own little virtual community, hub. But we got mini games in there. That's kind of like Mario Party. But the juice is you connect your wallet. You don't have to just have a Punk Voxel NFT. You could have like whatever NFT you want, and it launches the avatar for you, and it just looks great.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So what would you guys say would make an interactive world just like if any world can be kind of like Bored Yacht 8 Club and everything, would anybody flock to that, or would it have to be Bored Yacht 8 Club because it's like an RPG and stuff like that?
They just have the most going for them.
Yeah, it's just a king.
They have a large community that they can test a world with, and I think the rest of the Web3 community will join in after, which is thousands of users, which could potentially create that network effect, right? Not a lot of companies have that power to where they have that audience from the start to be able to, bring people in. I think.
They're like AOL in 1995.
It's basically.
Oh, okay. I guess. Thank you for that. Thank you for that.
That's a great.
Yeah, the 800-pound gorilla. I mean, ape.
Best talent
Yeah.
You literally, I mean, I've seen it. I used to host a lot of spaces just talking about blockchain, and the best talent finds you because they want to work on your stuff. So
Right.
having the cloud, having the name Bored Ape, I mean, that's
Yeah. And also they're rich. So these products are expensive and they need to raise a lot of money, and Bored Apes will pay thousands of dollars to support it, and that's why they get those VIP experiences.
So who went into that metaverse, the Bored Ape?
I've been
What
in
would
this
you
one.
say? Would you wish they changed from being in there? What would you say is like, okay, I wish they did this differently. I wish they did this. I wish it wasn't more of an RPG and it's more like this. What would you say?
So they're running playtests right now, and the first one, which is called the first trip, it was just you running around. There's no RPG elements. It was just making sure that this amount of people that you see on the screen can connect and be on a single server with very low latency. That's all they wanted to test out. I don't think so. What is that?
It's a platform for video games.
Neat.
Did they feel like it was successful?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a hit.
Yeah.
So do you know anyone that's seen maybe like a sneak peek of what their marketplace would look like as far as like their own platform marketplace?
Right. I haven't, but in my opinion, that's probably been Yuga's biggest kind of hole or gap in their whole business strategy. I mean, they've lost so much to OpenSea and other marketplaces.
Yeah.
Well, they're also going to create a marketplace in other side.
Right.
Yeah.
Where that could be massive if it ends up taking off.
Yeah. So do you think that like, let's say like they would have like an OpenSea representation, like it would be represented on OpenSea too, like their own NFT marketplace, like if you bought something, like maybe it's proved ownership on OpenSea as well and stuff like that, or no?
Yeah, I think so. Because ultimately you're transacting on the blockchain, and
Yeah.
every marketplace will show the same thing.
Okay.
And you'll be transacting in ApeCoin.
Yeah. That's the juice.
That's the juice.
Yeah. I made money off ApeCoin before.
Me too.
I flipped it. You know what I'm saying? But like that is one of the bigger coins you should have in your wallet, just because of the market cap it could go to when you have that mass adoption. Because at one point in like 2021, everybody wanted a Bored Ape, and no one fucking knew why. No one knew why, but everybody wanted one. Celebrities, my friends that never knew what NFTs were, they're like, "Yo, these monkeys look cool, bro. I want one, bro." Like, it's that psychological effect. So yeah, I think ApeCoin has got a long way to go.
So you think it deserves a spot in every American's 401k?
Yeah. Yeah.
You heard it here.
Duh. Yeah, no, I feel like ApeCoin's easily like a
All right.
100 billion market cap at least.
If the
Maybe
game
more.
takes off, it has potential, but it's risky. It's dependent on the game, I think.
I don't know anything about making your own coin, but if I were to like build my own and like,
You could do it tonight. It's only like 5 lines
I'm
of code
down.
straight
I'm
up.
down.
You could ask
But-
ChatGPT, can't you?
But my question is like, if I was able to like make my own interactive place, like I own my own world, you can go in virtual reality with it and everything. Would it make sense to like open like my own coin for people to go ahead and like dip into? Like, would you guys say that's like
What gives it value?
just like the comic books I have coming out, like you'd be able to purchase those coins to be able to use purchase my comic books or different things, or like be able to do, like I said, I'm doing a film festival in the open, like you'd be able to go ahead and just like how you regularly do things, but then you would have to purchase a coin to do it instead.
I think maybe an NFT would serve a better purpose. So if they owned one of your NFTs, whatever that may be, they get VIP access to things in your world, or they get first attempts to drops of yours, or whatever. But I think that could potentially be a better.
Yeah, because most people, like, when they're in NFT world, they hold ETH.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking it.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I've dropped Matic NFTs, and, I have a lot of people that want to support and buy one. Thank you, Shando, for buying one. But most of my friends, they don't want to bridge it. They don't want to convert it to Matic. They're like, yo, just get on the fucking ETH blockchain, and that's that. So, like, it wouldn't make sense, I feel like, making your own crypto in your own virtual world right now, especially when you still got a lot of room for development and to grow and get your name out there. Everyone's just going to have ETH. So just make them just have one of your NFTs as the token, like your entry, and that's it. And then whatever comes with it, comes with it. I think that's the best way to go around it, because you don't want to confuse people. You don't want to confuse people and like all these different cryptos.
My thing is, like, somebody always told me, don't buy stocks, make your own. So it's like, yeah.
I agree.
Entrepreneur.
What about minting NFTs on Bitcoin?
Ooh, we have a whole section on that. We'll get to
I was
that.
just trying to get things moving. No.
Let's do it, man. We got DAOs up next.
All right. Nouns.
This is all you, man. I mean, you're repping nouns right now.
I'm a sucker for nouns. As you can see, I'm rocking nouns right
Explain
now.
the shirt.
Explain the shirt?
Yeah. What is that?
So, you know how Nike has the check? So this is the noggles. This is the check for nouns. Yeah. You can see it on their website. Oh, never mind.
In top left.
You'll see it in a minute. But anyways, I'm a huge fan of nouns. It's my favorite DAO in the whole Web3 space. I think it is the truest DAO based off what we have so far, right? There's really not any DAOs because DAO is a decentralized, autonomous organization. None of them are really decentralized. None of them are really autonomous. Nouns is probably the closest thing to that, right? Besides Bitcoin. But what excites me about nouns is that, well, I'll tell you the basics first. So it's just NFTs that are birthed every day, and it's a daily auction. So people just bid. So for example, you can see this. Well, when it pulls up, there it is. So a noun is auctioned every day, and people bid, and then the highest bidder within those 24 hours gets to keep that noun, that NFT. And as soon as that NFT is sold, it triggers the next daily auction, and every day only one NFT from this project is sold, right? Opposed to like Bored Apes where they sold 10,000 at once, right? So I think the mechanism of the auction is really interesting, and it provides a lot of positive effects for the community. But also just the way it's set up. It's very decentralized. So every time a noun is sold, which on average right now in a bear market, they're sold for like 20 or 30 Ethereum, which is a good amount of money still. That Ethereum, that money goes straight into the community treasury, which then the community as a whole decides where they put that money. And really, there's a product that was birthed out of the nouns community that somebody funded, or the community funded, called Prop House. And then now the community members go in there and they put proposals. And essentially, an entire brand has been built in a decentralized way with its own culture and feel. But it's very different than like Nike, right? Nike, it's a founder with people in a boardroom that say, okay, what is Nike gonna be, right? What's it gonna make people feel like? What's it gonna stand for? This is the culture, and now it's gonna trickle down to all the Nike employees all over the world, right? And that's how we're gonna operate. That's the way a Web2 corporation would operate. Nouns DAO is essentially doing something similar in a completely decentralized digital way. So there is no founder. I mean, there are founders, but the founders don't own the project. So like I said, the money goes to the community that is owned collectively by the community, not the founders. So if you buy a noun, it gives you access to the community, which essentially gives you access to $40 million because that's how much is sitting in the treasury. So you can see the treasury is filled with 28,000 ETH currently, and that's after already funding over hundreds of projects, and some of them have been funded for millions of dollars. And there's still that much money in the treasury, right? So, and again, that's because it's always being replenished by that daily auction, and also some of the projects that make money feed back to the community treasury, not because they have to, because they want to, because obviously they were given an opportunity by nouns, right? By the community, they got paid for what they did. So, it operates in this decentralized fashion, and it's essentially trying to become like a decentralized Nike, global brand. But again, there's no managers, there's no founders. It's just community that is in a Discord, that is in Twitter, and says, okay, what are nouns? What do we want it to be? Based on that, where should we invest the community treasury, right? And crazy proposals have been funded. Some that people may say is completely ridiculous to spend that much money on something. And again, this is really just some big giant experiment where we don't really know what's going to happen. But it excites me because that's what I'm really here for in Web3, is to decentralize a lot of the corporate way of doing things and allowing people to work with each other that are just really passionate about something and build something really cool, right? And there's really nobody you have to answer to, right? If you buy a noun, that's your access token. If you have an idea, you put up a proposal, and then the community decides if you get that money. And once you get that money, you build whatever that proposal is, as long as it markets for nouns, and there is absolutely no requirement for you to give them any money. Okay, so. Oh well, let me talk about that because I love C. I'm glad you said that.
I didn't like what you explained.
Okay, well.
More specific. I didn't get it.
It could be confusing. Yeah. Yeah. So you can't use the Nike check.
But you choose to put it to CCO, right? I mean, it's the artist's choice to put it to CCO. Everything now is CCO. Well, yeah, but
yeah.
I guess it's not just someone saying, "Hey, CCO," and grabbing your stuff. It's like you make the choice to put it into. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're talking about specifically now.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure. Okay.
Yeah, so nouns is CC0, which just means that the art is in public domain, which means that anybody at any time can use any of the nouns marketing material and utilize it personally or commercially. And you don't owe them any money, right? You can't do that with Nike or like anything like that, right? It's trademarked. They could legally sue you. They have legally sued many people for utilizing the Nike brand. Nouns is saying, hey, our art is completely open, and we encourage you to build things with our logo. No.
I could use that right now.
You can go ahead and use their logo and do whatever you want. So CC0 means it doesn't even require an NFT. Yeah. But the beautiful thing, I'm really a fan of CC0 because the NFT game specifically is an attention game. And what drives attention is something that's mimetic, right? As Shando was talking about earlier. So if you put your art in the public domain and you become a big brand and people start to love it, and it's open and accessible to anybody, we've already seen tons of examples of people just randomly on the internet borrowing their brand and creating super cool things with it, which of course brings marketing and attention to nouns, which the goal is that as more attention comes to nouns, that the noun NFT becomes more expensive, which then the community owners of the nouns, their holdings increase in value, right? If you are something like Bored Apes, where only if you buy the NFT can you...
How big is the community?
Well, it's actually 643 people based on March 14th.
But a lot of people contribute that don't hold a noun still.
Yeah. There's little nouns too. So that's what I'm saying. There's sub-DAOs.
Is there any pronouns?
There is no... Yeah.
Bob, is that what you were going to say like a minute ago when you raised your hand?
Yeah. They both said it at the same time. There is a community called Pronouns, by the way. But it's not in the way that you think. They do something else, right? But he made a good point. You don't need to own a noun because Prop House is open to anybody. So if you say, I'm a director from Hollywood and I want to create a top-level movie with nouns, and we're seeing this kind of stuff right now. All you do is put your resume and the idea up in the proposal house, and if the community decides that what you're building represents the nouns brand in the right way, they'll fund it. And sometimes it's $1 million, and they'll just send it to you in crypto over the internet and say, we hope you actually do what you said what you're going to do, because if you don't, there's nothing we can do about it. And some people may say that's really dumb, but it's working much better than we anticipated.
Yeah.
So,
It's an honor roll.
yeah.
And in case you're still having questions of like who makes money in this whole thing, it's really just this is an experiment, an ongoing experiment. The idea is that the value is all going to accrue to the noun NFTs. So in this image here, we're saying that there are 643 noun NFTs. Yeah. So by
Dude, the Web3 gods know, bro.
in Web3, we'd say we're getting rugged right now. Classically rugged. That's it for tonight, folks. Dan, I totally lost my train of thought.
You're saying it drives back to the nouns.
You know what I like about the
It is nice. Yeah.
Otherwise, you'd have to like maybe look at the ether scan.
Right.
Very transparent.
Super transparent.
For somebody like me who makes short films, I would go to the noun community and be like, I would make a short film for these nouns.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm in Shark Tank.
Are you really?
Nice. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Tell us about Shark Tank.
Yeah, I forgot that I was in Shark Tank until he
Really?
says so, dude.
That's like the most popular noun sub gal, right?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. So the idea is by propagating this symbol, you guys can see that, and by propagating the noun's brand to the whole world, by making it as ubiquitous as something like the Nike swoosh, all that value, that recognition, the idea is all that value and recognition goes to the noun NFT holders. Does anybody have a question on that? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, because these are like the canonical brand tokens on the blockchain. And although there are many instances of derivatives, whether they be on-chain or off-chain, these are like the genesis pieces. It's like owning the first Nike sneakers and having the Nike brand being what it is now and owning the first Nike sneakers.
What if you have bad actors?
Ooh.
What if you have a
Yeah. So this is something that plagues any kind of decentralized community, because if you own the majority, this is what's known as a 51% attack. Ethereum is able to be attacked in this way. Bitcoin is able to be attacked in this way. But if 51% of participants in the network, Nouns is a network, they can control everything, really.
I was thinking from the brand sense, if you had someone that was going to integrate nouns into pornography or racist
Oh, yeah.
things or
That's such a good
sexist
point.
things, you know,
Such a good point.
What happens when someone, makes a Nazi noun?
Right. I'm surprised that hasn't really happened yet.
Sorry, just
No, that's
You took it and you just went to the
Probably.
well. This has actually happened. This happens with Pepe already, right? You want to share the Pepe story?
That's a really good point, isn't it? So Pepe, I mentioned earlier, is the most ubiquitous symbol on the internet. It is the Mickey Mouse of the internet.
I love Pepe.
The thing is that Pepe has been used for so many variety of reasons. Pepe was used as like a symbol during rebellions and riots, I think in either China or Japan. Pepe was used by the alt-right in a lot of their propaganda during the Trump rallies and just that whole election cycle. It's insane. And before that, Pepe was probably used for something else, again, on 4chan. 4chan is really, I think, where it grew prominence.
That's the evil side to CC0.
Yeah.
It's the prominence if you did something great. Well, just like there's good, there's evil. So now here comes somebody that wants to do evil with what you did
Yeah.
great and totally deface what you did.
The thing is that we haven't seen that yet, which is
Well, we probably haven't got to the point where it's that big where somebody says, you know what, I'm gonna do this.
true.
I think it's interesting because Pepe technically isn't CC0. Like Matt Fury, the creator, I mean, he owns the rights to Pepe.
And they still did it.
Yeah, they still did it. And then he, sued them and went through all these court hearings and whatnot. And he said that was the worst time of his life. That was the darkest point of his life.
Yeah.
Yeah, just such a waste. And to have to go against these people to fight over his creation as like an ideological symbol. Who would have thought that this frog would have caused all that? It's crazy.
Yeah. You bring up a really good point. It's like, if you want to protect it from bad, you trademark it. But then what do you have to do? If any anonymous person on the internet does something bad to that picture, you have to track them down and sue them via the Web2 corporate system, right? That can be extremely hard if thousands of people spread out around the world want to screw with you. So why not just open it up? Because it could happen whether you have the trademark or not. So you might as well just open it up so you don't have to deal with the legalities of it, and also open it so it could become a meme easier.
The more I think about this, because the question you pose is what happens when a symbol like, if you can go back to the slides, they're called noggles, by the way. What he has on his shirt, they're called noggles.
Nouns glasses.
Exactly.
Nouns glasses is noggles. Oh, and I have them here too.
Yeah. The more I think about it, like what happens if noggles makes its way into pornography or some like really explicit material that I don't even want to talk about.
Price go up.
Maybe
that's our moment.
But what really is the negative effect? Because it's not like there was a proposal saying that it should be in this really awful video that is a federal crime, let's say, recorded.
I guess it's if the bad actor can cause such a scene that now it's associated in the people that are in the mainstream that are not as aware, right? And they see, let's say, they took the nouns, which if you ask the average American, they would not know.
Mm-hmm.
But if somebody in a noun costume shot somebody or somebody, did that, I mean, now the mainstream America is going to associate the noun with that.
Right.
And I think that's why, I get the idea of it being open and it being so powerful, but there's a reason why Nike and Starbucks and everybody protects the hell out of their brand.
Yeah.
Because they want it to stand for something.
So if you want to short an NFT, you just dress up as
Well, if you want to shoot somebody, I think you'll do it whether it's trademarked or not. But I see your point.
Bob, I need to hear it.
Has there been a chance that, has there been a time that one of those did not sell them the day went by and nobody bought it?
No.
No, how crazy is that?
Is that kind of the whole community is to keep that thing alive, right?
There's just enough demand that every day one is bought. That's just what it is.
They need to settle the previous auction before the new one can start. So someone has to go and pay gas to settle, and then usually
That many days. Little bit.
So let's just say almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and the point is you might say, well, how's this brand? Yeah, they used to sell for crazy daily. The community sounds small because it's only 640. How are they making an impact? Well, because it's open, because it's not confined to 640 people, right? If it was a regular NFT project, it'd be confined to 640 people because you would have to purchase the NFT to do anything within that community and that brand. But because it's open, it's only 640 holders, but there's thousands of people all over the world that build around nouns. Yeah. So another thing that's happening in nouns, this is one of the founders of nouns, Seneca, is that the community is funding software products that other communities are beginning to use. So they're essentially becoming also like kind of a startup ecosystem for the Web3 space, right? But what's interesting is instead of the traditional way of creating a startup, like, okay, I have an idea, I'm going to build it, and hopefully customers come. It's backwards here. You have a community, the community has a problem, you build a product for it, and the community funds it because everybody wants it. And then, but then, if it's a good product, people outside of your community will ask to have access to that product. So then, but the cool thing about Web3 communities is once you build that product, that startup, you instantly have thousands of users. It's a huge problem for startups to solve that, right? In the regular process, you create a startup, you solve a problem, but then how do you get the users there? With Web3, the community are your users, and they've already told you that there's a problem. So there's a good incentive to build. And then once you have those users there instantly using your product, now other communities may have a similar problem that needs to be solved, and now you've built a product that can potentially generate revenue outside of your community. And it's sort of this new startup kind of ecosystem that's being birthed out of nouns. And this is what he's explaining here. He says, I was on an onboarding call for a new community joining their prop house. So new communities are using their prop house product so that they can fund ideas in their communities. And then they asked about another platform that was built by developers in the nouns ecosystem called Agora, which is used for voting. And they said they were interested in that. And so he's basically saying nouns is becoming a community, the go-to community for other communities that need the infrastructure to make their communities more successful in terms of governance. And nobody really knew that was going to happen, right? But that's just what happens when you build things for your own community's problems that are good. If that makes sense. I know it's a lot.
No, it's like a good model.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's Seneca 333?
Seneca 333?
Oh, no, I thought, isn't that the same one or is that Seneca?
There's Seneca and Seneca.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah, I was thinking Seneca, who I know of. Seneca's different than nouns.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Seneca is like the art collector, right?
Z, Seneca,
Yeah.
Z,
Talking about Zen Academy.
Yeah, Zen Guy.
Yeah.
Zen Guy.
Yeah.
I think the same thing.
Thanks, Claire.
So my noun, which everybody here knows I represent myself as that noun online, is the Earth head with the, I think it's the black glasses, or I don't remember. But if you've seen me online, you've seen my noun. I don't know, several months, not even a year probably. But because I like nouns, it's not even a real noun. I made that noun in this playground. So this is a part of their website where you can, these are actually real traits from real nouns owners, and because it's CC0, it doesn't matter. So you just make with whichever one you want, and then you could rock it if you want to be a part of the community, and there's no cost to you. So that's what I did, because I couldn't afford a noun, especially when they were 100 ETH. But I wanted to represent that community because I liked what it stood for, and I wanted to support it. So I went in the playground on the website, played around with it, made my own. So if you guys ever wanted to make your own noun, there's a place to do that on the website.
Making one tonight?
You should.
Very nice.
People like fish online when they like make their own noun, and then they take that picture of their own noun, they put it on the blockchain to get hexagoned out.
Yeah.
But it's not actually from the nouns collection. It's something that they
Yeah.
made. They just NFT'd a picture
Yeah.
of their own.
And you can see
Yeah,
that
you can
exactly
see
on the
that.
Twitter thing.
Yeah.
You could use it, but you can see what project that is on OpenSea. You can see it's a derivative. Yeah.
By the way, for anybody looking at the time and wondering when this event ends, it's a little after 9:30 right now. I think we are planning for this to run until 10.
Correct.
All right. So on-chain NFTs, the reason why this comes after DAOs and the noun segment is because nouns are actually an example of an on-chain NFT project. Maybe show of hands who doesn't know, or I don't know, who doesn't know what an on-chain project is? Who doesn't know? What does it mean for an NFT project to be on-chain? Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, this stuff is awesome. So the most recent example of a big, well-known on-chain project was called Owls. It just kind of blew up out of nowhere. Owls is an NFT project where every token is made out of text called ASCII art, and the text forms an owl. And it's all just different kinds of owls. That's it. But what's neat about it is these aren't actually at all JPEGs or PNGs. These are created through the smart contract. So an NFT is created through a smart contract. The smart contract governs the rules around that NFT. The smart contract can say, this token points to this JPEG or PNG. Another smart contract can say, this token is actually going to be constructed from text. And this text doesn't live anywhere. It's not an image, it's just text, if that makes sense. And so every time you request to see what this owl NFT looks like, you're actually constructing that image right then and there. What's that?
That's similar to how Chain Faces went down back.
Yeah, yeah.
Chain Faces like what? Like
That's an OG project.
10K community project.
Yeah.
When I saw Owls on OpenSea, I'm like, they fucking robbed Chain Faces.
And you know what? Chain Faces has a little bit of a renaissance rally too, where.
It's just like a remastered version of Chain Faces.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
I got love for Chain Faces, and they're OG.
I agree.
They're in like the crypto school days, you know.
Yep. And so there are a bunch of projects that even like for their marketing pitches will say, you know, we're an on-chain project. And people like that stuff. They'll buy in just because of that. So some popular examples are on-chain monkey. Loot was a huge one. And that's literally just text. One is called Anonymize. And although it's like a pixelated image, it's constructed on-chain. It's constructed through an algorithm, you could say. It's not a straight-up image file.
So did they not know what it was going to really look like until they minted it, pretty much?
That's right.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Wow.
Surprise, right? Like,
That's right.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I can see why people would get into that.
Yeah.
Cracker Jacks used to have a surprise. We didn't know what. Cereal boxes. Right? Throw cereal away to get the toy.
That's what NFTs feel like when you mint an NFT. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
6 weeks is like 6 decades.
Yeah.
Time's not real.
And so there are different levels of what it means for a project to be on-chain. Moonbirds came out with this distinction between on-chain and in-chain. An in-chain project, as they define it, is one in which all of the layers are preserved on the blockchain. So a standard NFT like a Bored Ape, that picture that you see is stored on some network somewhere. It could be stored on literally on a Google Drive. It could be an NFT that points to your Google Drive image. For Bored Apes, I'm pretty sure it points to IPFS, Interplanetary File Storage, which is.
That's where Ryder Ripps challenged him.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
The NFT is not the image. The NFT is the token that points to the image.
Yeah, and that's what most people think about it.
NFT is your image.
Exactly. So it begs the question, because the NFT is nothing more than a pointer to a file, it could be any file, it's just most commonly it's an image file. What happens when that image file goes away? What happens when that pointer points to nothing? Then, yeah, exactly. You're basically going to be seeing a 404.
Yeah.
Imagine.
And all it takes is a missed payment.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
IPFS, right?
That's the craziest part about it is. Oh, that's scary. Maybe. Yeah, the way that people make sure that these pointers to these files always exist is by paying a third party, and that they have a subscription. And like, let's say their credit card like expires or something, and they forget to update it. Legitimately, their PFPs are no longer going to be there. Yeah, exactly.
Basically, yeah.
So there are different ways to secure your NFT. In my opinion, or not even opinion, it's just fact, that the closer it is to the chain, the more preserved it is, the more integrity it has, and the more you don't have to worry about an external dependency somewhere else. So what Moonbirds and what Nouns do, they actually follow the same thing, is they have each layer preserved as bytes on chain, and then they have the smart contract. When you request, like, what does my Moonbird look like? What does my Noun look like? It basically calls a function that just composes all of these layers together and creates it on demand for you right then and there. And what's really neat about this is people can remix with this stuff. Because these all exist on chain, any other smart contract can point to one of these layers and use it for their own on-chain project. And that's what's really exciting. And it kind of, Moonbirds are now CCO. It kind of builds and reinforces that whole thesis. Like, here are my layers. They're on-chain, preserved for as long as Ethereum is alive. Anybody can use them to do anything they want.
Interesting. That's powerful.
Yeah.
So like you would see like someone making a project using these layers
Mm-hmm.
to make their own
Mm-hmm.
project, not call it Moonbirds, and still be okay.
Yeah, except Moonbirds, they're kind of like, they're iffy when it comes to what it means to be, when it comes to what is CCO and what isn't. Because if you use Moonbirds, I guess they have the name trademarked or something. I don't quite get it. But if anybody uses the word Moonbirds, they're going to pull that collection down. Even if they're using their assets, like the layers, in a CCO way, which is expected.
Weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
So it's iffy.
It's iffy. This is just a site where you can check for any token in any collection. You know, how much integrity does it have? Where is the asset actually stored? Is it stored on a central server that can be taken down if Amazon Web Services goes down for a couple of hours? Is it stored on IPFS, which is better? Is it stored in Arweave, which is another decentralized storage solution? And so it'll tell you where it's stored. So if you actually care about this stuff, you can check before you buy.
What's the website called?
Actually, I checked last night, and it's no longer up. So this is like historical. Yeah.
It was on IPFS.
Right. Oh man, that's comedy.
I got a question. I don't know if you're gonna cover it on this segment, but let's say for like a project that quote unquote rubbed. Let's say founders just kind of fucked off, went away, left their community like
Yeah.
What's the whole like? You ever hear like communities like, oh, we're gonna take over, like
Right.
we got the seed phrase, but we want to migrate our NFTs to another collection. Have you ever been in that situation where that was successful?
I've been in that situation where they you wrap your NFTs. So essentially, what you could do as a community, you take your NFT and you wrap it. That way, the founders can't make any royalties on it, and you essentially claim to take it and make it kind of like a version of.
So what, you burn it?
Because it's like it's unwrapped.
That's what happened. It happened to Pudgies, right?
Yeah, that's what we did at Pudgies.
Yeah.
Pudgies did that when we were upset at the founder, and a bunch of people led that charge and
Yeah.
riots, and then that caused the owner to
be shaken and say, guess what? I'm selling this thing before everybody does this, and it essentially becomes not valuable because it doesn't generate any, royalties. So they put it up for sale, and someone bought it for $2 million and turned the project around.
Yeah. People like the new founder, the new guy.
Yeah, he's really cool.
He's killing it.
Yeah.
So my question is, does like it stayed the same collection though?
Yeah, it stayed the same collection.
Have you ever been in a situation or heard a situation where like the founders was gone, no one has access to the seed phrase, and now we gotta migrate to a new?
Yeah, because they could just
community takeovers. Let me think.
Can't you just fork an NFT project?
Yeah, when you say migrate, there's a couple of ways to do it. What he's
Yeah.
talking about is wrapping the original contract. So it's like a token that references the original token. That's a way to enforce royalties in a way that doesn't benefit the original. Yeah.
Would a fork be a better word for migrating this to a new project technically?
So when you say what fork means to me is they have the code for the original smart contract and they just redeployed it, and then they would airdrop each token one for one.
Alright.
Does that make sense? See you guys. Thank you.
I've just been in a recent situation where, my homies gave me a bunch of misfits, just for the clout. And then like, the whole misfits are rugging, and now the community is trying to take over.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
Wait, is it misfits or mist with a T?
It's not misfits. Apparently that's an older one. Oh, okay. It's this new one called misfits. And like I'm with the community, and like they're talking about like a takeover, a whole new migration, because they pretty much got fucked, right? Like the founders left and everything.
I heard about that.
I've never been in a situation where it's like, oh, they're talking about migrating to a new contract. Like, what are they doing really? It's not the same project, right?
Now, what they're doing is they're saying, I'm going to take whoever's left here, we're going to build, and we'll do something different because this guy left us. That's essentially what that is.
So like it would be a whole new project, basically.
Right, so like,
Well, it's the same project, just different team running it.
Yeah, but like,
basically.
so would it be like burning your NFT to get the new one of the new project?
You can do that. That's another strategy.
I'm just wondering if anyone's been in a situation where they've been rugged and successfully made it out with the new
Pudgy Penguins.
Penguins probably the only one I've
Yeah.
That's very rare. Very rare.
That's what I'm saying. It's very rare.
Yeah.
Because that's coming back from the dead.
Misfit, like a rug blue chip. Find a way, but I don't know. That takes too much, like.
Yeah.
That's not going anywhere because
That happened to MFers. Yeah.
Tough times for a while, and then everyone just kind of rallied.
See, that's cool because it's like that's the whole point of decentralization. Is if you get fucked, your community, like you can take over.
Yeah.
And still make something out of it. But that's, like, I think that's so cool that like enough people could rally up and decentralize it even more.
Web3 is amazing.
That's why Web3 is cool.
Yeah. You can build it, exactly. You can build it. Anybody can build it if they want to.
Yeah.
All right. We're getting close to time. We had a couple more topics, but I think we're going to cut it short unless anybody had anything specific that they wanted to bring up.
Wanted to do ordinals? Someone wanted ordinals?
Talk about them ordinals, boy.
Yeah.
Probably cover that quick.
What's going to happen now? They have the Pepes on the Bitcoin. NFTs, and
Yeah.
they're worth so much.
So,
who knows what this project is? Yeah, so this is 12-fold. I guess I'll keep my own thoughts about it reserved, about the art, about the art itself. But do you want to say something else about it?
I mean,
I think it's fun to talk about the tech of ordinals, how it works compared to your regular Ethereum NFTs.
Part, I'm still trying to learn about like the whole inscription to your specific wallet.
Here's how I explained it. This is how I explained it to Serpunk on the phone one night. Imagine you had a penny, and you're a really good artist. Like, you're a dope artist. Everyone loves you. And you draw something on this penny. You could now say that that penny is no longer fungible to other pennies. It's now non-fungible. It can hold more value. Because you drew on it.
It's like an
You're
autograph.
drawing its value. Yeah.
Like an autograph. Like
Exactly.
you
That's an
sign your
autograph.
fucking baseball. You think that baseball is
That's exactly
like
it.
a regular baseball? No, it's a Babe Ruth
Yeah.
signed baseball.
Autograph on Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Color Bitcoin token.
Yeah, it is a thing. The color tokens. Yeah, because I think colored tokens follow like a different standard of some sort, whereas these are legitimate satoshis. A satoshi is the smallest denomination of a Bitcoin. It's like Wei in Ethereum. And what you're doing is you're taking a satoshi and you are inscribing bytes, which are just ones and zeros. And those bits or bytes can make up an image. And that exists on the token. So it's literally like me taking my penny and drawing zeros and ones and being able to read those zeros and ones.
But you gotta buy them like a Google Drive?
Yeah.
Well, there's marketplaces
right.
Is there? Okay.
There's marketplaces.
It's crazy to get and how to trade it with people. And
Yeah.
And it's so interesting because now you have to keep track of that penny. Like that penny, you can't use that penny to buy something on Bitcoin now, which caused a lot of problems. I think they had to do extra infrastructure. Yeah, it's like because if I were to say I want to send you one BTC, how can I be sure that my one Satoshi isn't included in that amount?
Yeah,
there has to be kind of some infrastructure there.
So how does that work? When there's no money, right? It's just for NFTs.
Yeah, it's money as an NFT. What was your question?
So I was saying, like, when you do that, when you inscribe it, you're pretty much just voiding the value.
Yeah, in a way, because you're not expected to ever send that Satoshi as an actual value of Bitcoin anymore. You could theoretically, exactly.
It's like a penny from, I don't know, like 1900 or 1800.
Yeah.
You could still pay with it, but it would be stupid.
Exactly.
But it will still be entered into blocks, right? Like
Yeah.
you could technically, you could still, yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody will receive it.
And then I'll be like, oh shit, look at the art on this coin.
Which is really exciting. Like I like how ordinals work, and that's like completely different than Ethereum NFTs. It really like makes Bitcoin a lot more like tangible money in that sense. That's all DGods is. They're all doing it. It feels a bit like a gimmick now.
20, 30 projects do it. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, so 12-fold sold out, and they made $16 million off of this art. There's really nothing special to it, right? It's just they're
'cause
ordinals.
A lot of people are saying like that art looks like you could watch a 5-minute Blender tutorial. Blender is 3D art and just
What
do
are
it.
some Bitcoin maxis too that have been wanting to use their Bitcoin in another way,
Right.
right? That's also why you would get like those kind of people that would buy these Bitcoin NFTs because they're just such Bitcoin maxis. They're never going to spend it or transfer it to another, fiat or other crypto because then they'll get taxed.
Yeah.
So maybe that's another way for them to use their Bitcoin.
Right.
And use Bitcoin NFTs and inscribing it.
So I was going to say that part is actually really, how much?
What?
How much did that get?
The project, how many? 16,500,000.
Yeah, see, that's what's unique about it.
Yeah, it looks much better knowing the price.
But in the grand scheme, that's not that money in Bitcoin.
I don't think I'd get more than 16 for it.
16 million in Bitcoin is not that much value per Bitcoin. Like that'd be like maybe like
Yeah, you can see
certain
here.
amount of Bitcoins.
It was actually bid in Bitcoin. It wasn't.
Yeah. Oh, the way that it worked though is insane. Like it goes to show how little infrastructure there is. Because how it worked is people had to send to a Bitcoin address these bids of Bitcoin that you see here, and then you have to hope. You have to hope that the team is going to send to your Bitcoin address that one Satoshi.
Yeah.
What's that?
How much is the one Satoshi? How many Satoshis equal a Bitcoin?
I believe it's 18.
18, only 18 Satoshis equal one Bitcoin?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry.
Really?
No. I'm doing 10 to the 18.
Yeah,
I'm doing
that's
10 to
it.
the 18.
Okay.
It's 10 to the 18 Satoshis equals one Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of the exponent there.
Okay.
Ordinals versus ERC 721.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think the most interesting thing about ordinals is that there's finally a way for Bitcoin to, how do you put it? I guess they have enough fees to pay for security on the network long term, right? because now there's this sort of like new ecosystem that exists that will cause transactions, which causes more fees, which go, you know, with more fees, there's more security, and eventually because Bitcoin is subsidizing security, correct?
Yeah.
By essentially giving miners Bitcoin to mine. But once the last Bitcoin is mined, there's no more money to pay miners. So then the question is, well, then how do you keep up the security if there's no incentivization for the miners? Well, that's been always the question for Bitcoin. And it's like, Bitcoin maxis are always like, oh, well, that's not going to be a problem. But they never had a solution for it.
I think it's the halvenings.
What's the date of that?
The last one in mine is like 2130, right? That's a long time. That's like 100
Yeah.
years from now. That's why they don't care, because they're gonna be long
Yeah.
gone.
But 100 years is not that much in the grand scheme of things.
It is for me. I'm good. I can barely make it at 10 o'clock.
Yeah. Because there's stuff built on top of Bitcoin too, like Lightning Network to enable really quick.
It could, but the
Taproot.
governance is going to be hard. You know how hard that is, though?
Yeah.
Bitcoin has upgraded a lot. It used to be slow as fuck.
Right.
I used to like wait 2 hours sometimes for my Bitcoin. Nowadays it's like lightning fast. Like, I don't gotta wait that much. And now it's so much cheaper to send Bitcoin these days.
Yeah.
Before it would take like a little more than mining fee. Now I can send shit for free.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Well, Ethereum is deflationary.
Hell yeah, it is.
Yeah, but there's too much people using Ethereum where it needs a lot of work on the scalability.
Yeah.
Because just because it's upgraded and you can deflationary doesn't mean that gas is going down. It's never going to go down.
Well, I think there's going to be other blockchains that alleviate some of that. Like,
Yeah, I mean Matic is a bridge.
There's going to be a lot of stuff that takes, certain things are good to be done over there, certain things are going to be good to be done over there. Matic is good to have gaming assets.
Yeah.
Some places going to be good to like mint art and stuff. But like, all protocols, man.
Yeah, ETH is king.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
So
big.
what do you think? What do you think is going to stick out of this whole ordinals explosion for the Bitcoin chain? Do you think NFT projects are going to start creating there? Is it for one of one art?
Yeah, that's you're touching on the slide here. I agree. What ordinals lack is programmability, meaning you can't do anything really interesting with the NFT. Like I said, it's just you drawing on a penny. So it's as much as you can do with that. It's very static. It's not dynamic.
Well, it's like everyone's crazy for that right now.
Yeah.
It's just a cool trinket. The reason why they're crazy is because it's made a lot of money. People have like.
Yeah, it's because who's making it, I think.
What do you think it attracts a certain crowd?
Yeah.
Bitcoin NFT attracts a certain kind of person.
Yeah, but there's a lot of ETH guys that I know that don't know shit about Bitcoin NFTs, and they're like, how do I get those ordinals?
Right.
It's because they want to try to speculate, make money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know any good like NFT fashion projects? Anything obviously aside from the ones that we know like Artifact?
Right.
Anything cool or anything like that?
I feel like there's so many, man. But they are all kind of.
What are they lacking?
Yeah, that's it. I feel like they're lacking demand almost. In fact, Swole, who's sitting next to you, he is the community manager for a project called Futures Factory, and that's a fashion project.
Swole,
so you should
know that.
Didn't Dolce & Gabbana do something on Matic?
Someone's got a dead battery. Or maybe they close
So I do AV if you ever need something. We just get rubbed. Got the sound being rubbed. I think we got enough people in here to use maybe not the mics.
Right? Yeah. So so say that again. What was the Futures what?
Futures Factory.
What are they doing?
We're done with it anyway. Is the battery? There's one actually. I think it's
that the noise I made?
Yeah. There's another one called Restless. It's RSTLSS.
So I would say they're not really doing much with fashion then, because I'm really into NFT, really into Ethereum, the blockchain. I haven't heard much. Like,
I'll talk to Swole about it.
You know, it'd be cool if there's just like a fashion
I'm
NFT
sure they
that you
exist,
put on
but
there.
what I mean, that's not what I mean. I mean, like, the ones that are actually, you know what I mean? Churning out.
Oh, I know the project.
Dolce & Gabbana released on Matic.
Minted? What's that new word that just came out?
I just want to check what they're
You know,
doing.
Tiffany and Co.
I would suggest if you're going to get into clothing for NFTs that you want to do hats, scarves, gloves because the crypto winter.
Accessories.
Decentraland?
My she's a designer.
Oh man, I gotta go buy it all.
My
Yo, grandma can start knitting for the NFTs.
The only thing I know.
Yo, somebody should really make that.
I know.
Only misses and shit.
If one of these fashion projects did that, that'd be so good.
Oh my god, that's good.
Yeah.
The only thing they're doing is just making NFTs, and every time you buy an NFT, you get the clothing. That's really all they're thinking about. Because they're not as into Bitcoin NFTs as us, but that's the only thing that they're doing.
You know who did the best, at least closest to the best, is actually Tiffany. Because they did the CryptoPunk pendant, and if you had a CryptoPunk, if you owned a Tiffany, they would make you a pendant and ship it. Dolce & Gabbana, they launched on Matic, and it kind of failed. Because you see Nickelodeon, they come in, they fail. All these big companies fail because they had no fucking community, and they came in. They just came in thinking...
I like the Dolce & Gabbana stuff. Some of the little stuff.
Yo, don't fund his bag.
I didn't buy it.
I bought the box. I almost got burned.
No, I don't think it was a box. I thought it was like sneakers and hoodies or something
No,
like that.
you bought a box, and then you supposedly got stuff with a follow-on. But I minted on Matic, and it took me 36 hours to get my NFT. And the market went like this, and then like this. And I caught it just as it was going down and just broke even.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's a mechanism so you don't sell right away.
Yes. All these other MFers were selling like,
So was it?
so like, oh yeah, let's.
Insiders.
So was there like a window when you had to mint it and stuff? Because I think that's also a problem. Is when they have like such a specific window, especially on ETH. Because like remember when
I gotta find that project.
remember when that one game that came out, the Bango Bananas for Bored Ape or whatever, it's Bango Bananas or something, and then like you tried to mint one and just like. Your gas was just so expensive because everyone was minting at the same time.
Yeah.
Bored Ape just did a thing where they you burn the sewer pass and you get the summoning box, right? But they didn't have a window and a time frame, so there wasn't all that gas guzzle.
Yeah.
Where, like people were actually straight. To wait 36 hours on a Matic NFT completely fucks with the whole reason why Matic is what it is. Because Matic's supposed to be fast, instant gas.
I literally think they were manually
come on.
airdropping them.
Yeah, that's
one by one.
I think that's what they were doing. They freaked out. Their code didn't work, and they were airdropping.
Hey, I airdrop house music on Matic for my holders, and I'll get it to you way before 36 hours. That's just me, one guy on a computer, man. So they,
I know Matic's had issues in the past where if there was too much traffic on Matic, that would happen. It would just like take forever for things to go.
I think it was Dolce & Gabbana because the firm doing it was like some. Like they hired just someone like, oh, you do Web3? Okay, let's get
use
you
all
this.
the addresses.
Yeah, it's like USFL, the same thing.
He couldn't even copy and paste them. He probably had to like look in a journal. Okay, 0x45. Or like this guy.eth. Oh fuck, his name's not registered. Let me go look at his Ether scan. Let me go find that out. That's the one thing I've noticed about like me, just even airdropping to like my holders, like new music. It's like I haven't found a way. Me personally, as a one-man army. How can I just airdrop all these motherfuckers at once?
It's true.
You know, so I need that platform or app or whatever AI tool that can help me just take all the addresses I have already for the wallet and just for my future
there's
drops.
tools for that.
So I was talking to Shando about that for like probably the next one. He put me on like Manifold.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna use Manifold.
Yeah, that's the best one.
Yeah, and I found out recently it doesn't cost too much to even like drop a project now on ETH if you use Manifold, stuff like that. So I think that's what I'm gonna do, so that like I don't have to individually put some in, because like I was doing that and I'm like I found a way to do it fast, mind you. Like I was like I got like 10 tabs open after I'm transferred, boom, go to the next one.
You just gotta
like,
pay for the gas.
Yeah, so that's why I was doing things with Matic, because I was getting my brand out there, dropping music on Matic because it didn't cost me anything. Gas-wise. If I would have done on ETH, I would have been there just spending hundreds of dollars all day trying to send it. You know, so I'm ready to go on ETH for the first real collection. But I think I'm gonna go with Manifold and probably hit you and Shando up. I need all the help I can get, bro.
Yeah, hit us up, bro. It's getting close to 10, so we're just gonna do the raffle real quick.
Our chances got better.
We're gonna start off with Paul being gracious, giving away a free NFT Orlando ticket.
Oh shit! I knew that.
Yeah, so a couple things. So the NFT Orlando, it's not really a money-making enterprise for me. It's just to build my network. You know, I'm working on my own NFT, but I thought it's in the bear market, the best thing to do is like build a network locally, regionally, statewide, and bigger. So that's the whole theory behind this. So the entry fee is $99 to get in, and that's really not making you much money at all on it because I rent the hotel and I'm providing you lunch, and we got all kinds of giveaways. We got door prizes like a Be Friends box we're giving away. We're giving away Gary V's books. I got Orlando Museum art passes.
Still giving away those books.
Yeah, yes. Hey, you got more, right?
I can add to the pot.
Yes. I got passes to NFT Miami that I'm giving away. So it should be good. So anyway, so I'm going to give one lucky winner 100% off, so like a free ticket. And then everybody else here, I've got a coupon code for 50% off if you use it by midnight. And I got another code if you're like, I don't know, you just don't feel like getting pressured. That's cool. I got a 20% off one, right? So I'm trying to get, because I got to put the meals in, I got to reserve the food and stuff. So the sooner I know, the better. So yeah, so this will be a 100% off.
100% off. All right.
Thank you. I got it.
He knew what number I said. All right. All the first three are the same, right? Okay.
Oh, he's going to read the last three.
The last three.
No, start with the, get everyone excited. 4, 8, 0.
Drum roll, please. Drum roll, please. All right, if you got number 480-225.
Oh, close.
You want to read one?
Closest one? Or are you going to do the
Everybody laugh.
480213.
Ooh, I got 5. That's close enough. It's upside down.
Nice. Thank you, production. Thank you. 480226.
Hey, this guy didn't get a raffle ticket walking in the door.
Last.
Yeah, he never got one.
Sorry, buddy.
Go get a raffle ticket.
Don't rip one out.
Go rip one out.
Odds are better than we thought.
It's still hold two-sided one and then give me one.
That's more.
Yeah, you feel it?
Yeah, I feel it.
Wait, let's wait. Let's wait for him to bring his and we'll reshuffle.
Yeah, come on, man.
Maybe it wasn't you, we're giving you more chances.
Right. It's 50-50. You're right. Last 3 digits are 217.
Yeah!
Double check.
The check's out.
17.
Alright. Yeah, baby. I was about to buy that shit too.
Let's
go. Ooh, yeah, put my slides.
Here's 50% off.
Woo!
Well, here's the thing, so y'all know. My goal is to go to Orlando and Miami and have the whole thing paid for with NFT sale money. So my pressure's on because I got a week to get it. We don't need it early. So
That's swole. Just that swole.
anyone want to help me?
You can make enough to get to my event, right?
What's that?
Over a year. That'll get you like $50 to get you to my event. Then you can win an NFT Miami ticket.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'd rather just sell NFTs and make a bunch more money so I can pay for my journey down. Yacht trip while I'm down there.
Oh yeah. You don't have any NFT?
But yeah, cool. Thanks.
I'll give out moon pies.
I give away some random stuff on the shoe, but this is Highland art. It's not like anything.
That's a show. I would really want to win that.
Hell yeah. Yeah, dude. In fact, we could throw up on the board of my foundation. And you can pick one from.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
So
Better to have a board, yeah. It's on foundation.
Yeah. So was that the only raffle? Or we got more stuff to go?
I think we have one more here. So, Jerry, do you want to talk more about what you do really quick? You know, what you're about to raffle?
Yeah. So when mine comes up, which will eventually pop on the screen.
What do I search?
Foundation.app, Bractagon, BRACTGON. We'll just go to my name one. But yeah, so this, that's me on the top. Yeah, so this is really cool. Again, just Midjourney and Discord messing around with, and again, so these are ones that I bought. So not in any of these. These are very expensive. But go up, scroll up.
creative?
Yeah, or collector. Yeah, collections. Yeah. So I got 3 collections. You can choose which one you want. But these are all. This is just
Damn, bro. You got a great young in your collection?
Oh, no, I don't think I do. I might do. Go back. Let's check. I don't remember.
You would know.
I probably know. No, this is not my stuff that I made. That's not I'm creating. In fact, actually, any of the stuff that I created.
Yoon? That looks like a Yoon. It could be Yoon.
Yeah, so I created that. Do Midjourney, and literally Midjourney in Discord, and I'll invite you guys all to my server, and anybody can add it to their server. That's just using /blend. These are my own photos that I took. Sweet. But yeah, anything you guys want from either my photos or the stuff that I blended, that's gonna be foreverable. But yeah, anybody can do it. Do Discord /blend. I know we're worried about copyright and stuff, but that's why I don't list. The only stuff that I actually, so this one's all stuff that I randomly threw together. Put it all really cheap because I don't really care. I just want to. Everyone's really worried about having this stuff for sale and not selling it. Like, I don't care. Like I just put it up. I literally call the collection "Don't buy these non-fungible tokens."
So these are edited.
These are all were created using Midjourney. All were blended and imagined and yeah. So all of it's using Midjourney.
And you also have a photography.
And I do have a photography one as well. I call it ephemerality.eth, which ephemeral is like fleeting, kind of transient, yeah. So I thought the idea.
How do you do the photography part with AI as well?
So those actually didn't. Those were just my own that I just took throughout.
Because I want to get into that. See, I want to get into.
We tried to catch a launch with my rocket, and
then blending them.
I caught it, but it was so tiny, it's a live video.
Oh, yeah.
So I just got to figure out how to get better angle.
Yeah, it's
but while I was there, chips going out.
That's the perfect art that comes from a photo.
Yeah, and that's what so made me feel
on your
better
Instagram.
about
Like, you make the water
that was cool.
I'm talking with a guy who,
I like that.
yeah, he's saying that
I started building my own ones. I was like, okay,
it's
now
way for me to make money to get on
so
LinkedIn.
I'm not sure I maybe
And I
procreate on
post
the tool
this,
to
and a
use
few
that.
days
I
later,
definitely,
you go
that's my
to
next
some of
stop.
these news guys, and find out who's the guy that does this, buying and selling stuff. And they're licensed.
In his wallet.
And he thinks, he says, the chips can pay you $10,000
Anyone can take
and
NFT for
think,
free.
because their credit cards
Money,
can go up to
you don't have to pay the
$100,000 before
money,
they have to
you
go
will
get
give us
permission.
Oh, that's true.
So,
So
10
number
grand
is-
plus
number is
my thing is, you gotta get me on a cruise so I can get better than Ox, in the background,
Yeah.
Caribbean, locations. So that's my goal,
Drunk.
222.
What was the number? We missed it. What was the number?
222.
Okay.
282.
224.
That's mine.
Wait a minute. I just think I heard a rug pull right there.
Yeah, you get it. Yeah.
Rug pull, we don't even got
I'm saying I gave away GotRug.eth for the clout. You know?
You did. I actually
I'm just
wanted
saying.
that. I went into that
This round was
space.
rigged.
All right, we put you back here. All right, 227.
Bro. Right?
No,
it's not.
That's not me. I'm 8.
So close.
You're 228?
Yeah.
This one's 215.
Whoa!
Yeah, it's
Nice.
So it's your choice. You your choice here, and I don't know if I'm gonna put it on the screen or what
Yeah,
I'm doing here.
This is beautiful because Bob is also a photographer.
That's amazing. So you can either, and tell it to you, from one for my photography, which I say you should do that one because it's more special, which is, it's not showing. There we go. Yeah, ephemerality, so either one of these, which I'll have a nice story behind them.
Story's good.
Yeah, and this is just me.
You have to have the hook.
Just me and my
Story
iPhone.
and the author. You guys
Yeah,
all-
excellent. Yeah, so which one? So either one of these or the other one. So this, I would probably say grab one of these because these are really cool. So which one of these would you like? And I'll send it to you.
I will take one if you take one of mine back.
Hey, absolutely, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you gotta show me how to do it.
Absolutely. Yeah, no problem. So which one? Do you have a preference? Which one would you like?
I gotta study it hard. I gotta I gotta research
Yeah.
to see what's trending.
Definitely.
Yeah, check the floor price.
Your phone number. I'll text you the link, and then we'll make sure we do that.
Buy it.
Do that. That's perfect. Yeah.
Check the rarity.
This is amazing. And these are all from my iPhone.
I'm gonna make more than $50 for
You
a
are?
trip to.
I hope so.
Big dog.
I'm gonna put you with Crypto Bob. Are you good with that?
Yeah, you got
freestyle. Hit it real quick.
Huh?
Hit the freestyle real quick.
What's up? Double D. What's up, dude?
I'll put it on. Actually, here we go. Web3 freestyle. Hey, DJ, can you guys throw in a rap beat or what kind of beat?
What would you type in YouTube right now?
Hip hop beat. He was gonna do a freestyle.
Drake type beat.
Nice.
We got the mic still. Is the mic over here?
You should. You can use this mic. Yeah, that's being weird. You can use that mic.
Test.
I gotta get more choreography.
Push P, let's go. This is the Push P Chronicles, episode 1, volume 37.
John, you gotta explain to the crowd, because somebody asked earlier, what does Push P mean to you?
That's a great way to represent something that is pushing P. Like sometimes I'll go to breakfast and I order myself a breakfast sample. I'm like, oh my god, this tastes so good. It's pushing fucking P. I'm with Shando at the gym. And we're like working out. He's like, come on, push P, come on, keep going, push P. I'm like, I'm trying to make myself in the digital world. I go on the Twitter space. I'm like, come on, let's rally up, push some fucking P. So it's whatever you want it to be. I think I take it totally out of context. You know?
Yeah, because originally it means you're rich from your parents.
It's more it means just keeping it pimp, keeping it player. That's what Pusha P means. That's what Gunna said. I take it out of context. Turn that beat up. Yeah. There's this UFO group on Twitter that I'm not even in those spaces, and they talk about pushing P all the time. They go into other spaces like just a bunch of white people saying it's hilarious.
You can't limit pushing.
No, you can't. You can't. There's no cap.
It's CC0.
It's a CC0 kind of. I'm pushing P on OpenSea. I'm buying NFTs while I'm smoking DMT. Yeah, I'm overdrafting my PNC. I'm not gonna rug you, so do not give me a doodle, please. I don't need no virtual socks. All I need is a punk box on a big ass cock. I keep it trashy. I got Ethereum. I'm not a Bitcoin maxi. I'm on the Web3 plenty. I got drive. Yeah, my gas is never empty. You'll never get my password to my seeds. On the Web3, I'm the Mr. Beast. I'm giving out my moon pies and Shirley Low. Fuck Netflix and chill. I get head to HBO. Yeah, I do the shit my way. Yeah, open sea or the highway. I guess I'm driving and I need a snorkel because I'm drowning. My NFTs went to zero, but I'm still astounded. Intrinsic value, baby, I ain't never selling. Helen Keller buying and shit blind, man, I'm felon. You can't fuck with me. I got that luxury. Fuck with me, baby, every day I'm pushing P. Yeah. Here with the Shando, yeah, I got more NFTs than fucking Rambo. If he had guns and it was made out of ammo. Hold up, eyes closed and keep your cams low, cause I'll be trying to make stuff happen. I'm balling like Orlando Magic, let's go, yeah. Hey, put your motherfucking hands up. Hey, put your motherfucking hands up. Hey, put your motherfucking hands up. Yeah. Yeah, let's go.
We're gonna mint that video. We're gonna send it out to
All you gotta do is put the moon pie face on.
Here's something.
Just put the moon pie face on.
We should really mint that video.
Do that with the moon pie face. Let's do it. For sure.
I'll send it to you. Mint it on Manifold. Manifold's super
That's funny. Yeah, I'm not sure.
And I'll repost it. I'll be like, I was there when it happened.
Yeah.
Go get this.
I will too.
Freestyle.
Yo, Bob's next on the mic. Drop a beat for Bob.
Oh,
Nah, I'm kidding.
When you mentioned earlier that you had a clone.
Oh, yeah, you never know. All right, here we go. This is our next special guest.
Hey, hold on, I gotta get my camera going here. All right, there we go.
This is an original daddy joke. You all got daddies on What sound does a cat make when it flies over your head? Meow.
Dave, kind of marketing etiquette.
Bob, do some judging. I didn't record it. Get some water bottles.
That's a little more expensive than we have budgeted.
People are asking for it. People are asking for it.
Y'all online, you may be seated. Thank you for that.
What about the airline food?
What happened to it?
What sound do you hear in the front row of the Kitty Cat 500?
You're next. Wait, who's next?
I know we can raffle off the mic.
So yeah, next time if I'm in town, we'll do. I'll do whatever.
Yeah, you're gonna be
something.
something.
We need a higher cinema.
Yeah, I gotta pay for it. Yeah, when is NFT related?
It's next Saturday.
Not this Saturday, next Saturday. Saturday the 25th.
Oh, we in there.
Yep.
Now,
Downtown Orlando.
You guys get the.
All right, we do that, and we go to the other side the next day. That's on the next journey.
Yo, you got me on the. I'll be in the buggy in the back riding.
Hey, you gotta use the 50% code tonight because I set it up to expire.
Yeah, don't forget that 50% ends tonight, midnight. So if you want to go and get the 50% off.
I better start midnight.
You better start shilling.
I'm a shillionaire.
So next week, if anyone has any physical, like Bitcoins or Ethereum, or I collect those, they're cool stuff. Bring them here, and then put them on the table, and then we're just gonna do it right.
On me for my birthday, I'm at Rocco's Tacos. He gave me like a Crown Royale bag, and there's like 7 fucking Crown Royale bags. It's like the little Russian like gnome things. And then I get to the bottom, it's just fucking like 12 Bitcoins. Like little like physical like joke Bitcoin.
I love Rocco's Tacos.
Oh, it's like that. I've had my birthday there the past 2 years. I'm gonna end on a trilogy this year. So December 9th, Rocco's Tacos.
I used to work in there.
Yeah,
the place is great.
I love they come out and do
I used to work in the
guacamole.
I had to make the guac one.
Yeah. Guac tray.
That shit is precious. Hey, do you have a Modolito?
Modolito? Yeah, I have one.
Oh, wait,
they're gone this
Alright, I think the raffle's done unless anybody else has got some things they want to give away.
I'd like to raffle off that joke as an NFT.
Have you been to
that joke? No.
I'm out. You already know where I be on these Twitter spaces.
I'm gonna hit you up, man.
It's great to meet you. I'll be around a lot more. What was your name, man? William.
Oh, right.
I'm glad you're doing that.